Otters baseball after dark style on the final Saturday night of the year at Bosse Field. After a 2-hour delay due to wet field conditions, we're finally ready for baseball in the middle game of the Y'alls and the Otters in the penultimate weekend of baseball in the Frontier League. Good evening, everyone. Happy Saturday night. Thanks for joining us on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Griffin Epstein, happy to be joined in the broadcast by Michael Gross. Michael, I think a little bit longer wait than we thought for your broadcast debut here at Bosse, but I'm really glad you're going to be alongside me for the next 2 days.
Yeah, I'm excited. We've gone through a lot of ups and downs mentally just sitting here for the last 2 hours we saw.
We've learned a lot about each other,
Exactly. We've looked at the field. It's been damp, then it's been dry, it's been damp again. There's been threatening rain, and then we're ready to go. Sun comes out. Now I believe it's finally time for baseball, and we're going to get a great second game between these two.
A lot of hard work has been put in to get the field ready. It looks good and ready to go. The concern has been the infield and the dirt after a lot of rain overnight, but in good condition now after a lot of hours of work. Last night's game was a fun one, back and forth ball game between the Otters and the Y'alls. Evansville ended up winning 8-4, 7 hits and no errors for the Otters, just 3 hits and 2 errors for Florence. Otters really got a combination of strong pitching and then some power from their stars.
Yeah, and when you look at down the line from the first inning all the way to the end, the pitching got better as it got along, but when they lost the lead in the 7th, they got it back off of Noah Myers and his go-ahead 7th inning home run. They didn't relinquish that lead either, and that's how you know that they can stay in any game down the line. They always have situational hitting.
Noah Myers, what a last couple of weeks he's had, the reigning Frontier League Player of the Week. Well, let's take a look at the Frontier League standings brought to you by Seal Corp. The Gateway Grizzlies and Schaumburg Boomers have both clinched playoff spots. The Otters are hoping to do the same. They still have a chance this weekend. Their magic number is 3. Washington has won today, so the Otters will need to win both of these 2 games against the Y'alls and hope for a Washington loss if they want to clinch the playoffs this week. Otherwise, they will have to wait till next week. Time to introduce you to the starting lineups. First for the Florence Y'alls, 35 and 53 on the season. Lane Hoover leads off and plays left field. Brian Fuentes batting second and playing third base. Brennan Price bats third and is the designated hitter. Craig Massey in the cleanup spot and playing first base. Zade Richardson bats fifth and catches. Ray Zuber batting sixth and playing center field. Bottom 3 in the Y'alls lineup, Tristan Garcia, the second baseman, Jeremiah Burks, the shortstop, and Hank Zeisler, the right fielder, rounds out the lineup. The righty Cardi Spivey is on the mound today for Florence. He's 2-0 against the Otters this year and is yet to give up a run against Evansville in a combined 15 innings of work. Real quickly, Michael, who are you looking for in this Florence lineup?
I think for me, it's still got to be the big man, Brennan Price. The designated hitter. His on-base percentage up around 491 or 441, excuse me. He just gets on base more than anybody almost in the league.
Switching to the Otters, 48 and 39, and Otters win tonight, and they can go to 10 games over 500 for the first time this season. Noah Myers leads off and plays center field. Ethan Skinder bats second and plays second base. Dakota Phillips batting third and the designated hitter. Yomar Reyes in the cleanup spot and playing third base. Kona Quiggle bats fifth and plays first base. Gary Mattis batting sixth and playing left field. Bottom 3 in the Otters lineup, Brian Rosario, the right fielder, Justin Felix, the catcher, and George Khalil, the shortstop, rounds out the lineup for the Otters. Tim Holdgrafer, the righty ace, on the mound tonight for the Otters, 8-5 with a 3.05 ERA. A lot of guys playing well in this Otters lineup.
Yeah, but I think for me, who I have to go with is Tim Holdgrafer. You need a quality outing here against Florence, especially if you want to be able to clinch, potentially clinch at home here tomorrow. You need a quality outing of 6 innings or more. He's done that plenty of times this year. He's got 4 8 shutout outings this year. If he can replicate one of those impressive performances, I'm sure Evansville will be in line for a win.
The Otters need a win if they want to clinch a playoff spot tomorrow. It's Otters baseball after dark at Bosse Field on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
An EVSC Fine Arts Specialist. Water teachers under the direction of Andrea Drury. Former North Husky
A beautiful national anthem by the EVSC Foundation Choir, and boy, they had to wait a while to do it, and they delivered. Now we'll see how the Otters and Y'alls do after a 2-hour and 5-minute delay from a scheduled 6:35 first pitch. Tim Holdgrafer, the righty, on the bump for the Otters. Michael talked about him. He's been dominant as can be at times this season with 4 8-inning shutouts, 8-5 overall, 106 1/3 innings pitched, 84 strikeouts to 19 walks. The Frontier League West All-Star starter for the Otters. Around Holdgrafer on the diamond, Justin Felix, the catcher, Kona Quiggle at first, Ethan Skinner at second, George Khalil at short, and Yomar Reyes at third base. Gary Mattis is in left field today, Noah Myers in center, and Brian Rosario, the right fielder. The Otters DH Dakota Phillips this evening. Felix catching Holdgrafer for the 3rd time this season and 2nd straight start. That pitcher-catcher battery powered by the Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road, or call at 812-475-9000. It is a warm evening. We haven't had any rain over the last 8 hours, but heavy, unexpected thunderstorms last night have caused an extensive cleanup of Bosse Field, and it's a really good job by Dan and the rest of the grounds crew and staff here at Bosse Field to work as hard as possible to get us to play some baseball tonight. And after 2 hours and 7 minutes of a delay, we're ready for baseball. 80 degrees, some humidity making it feel 85, wind not much of a factor. There is a small chance for some rain later tonight. We will knock on wood, Michael, that doesn't happen because we've waited this long for baseball.
You'd think that the baseball gods would be with us today after this long delay.
Tim Holdgrafer ready on the right side of the rubber to face Lane Hoover. First pitch home, misses low for a ball, and we're underway. Otters in their home whites today. Holdgrafer, black glove, sets at the chest, turns, and the 1-0 to Hoover. A breaking ball misses outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Otters written in script blue across the chest, with blue numerals on the back and a blue belt, blue hat with a white front, blue brim, and the blue E logo on the front. 2-0 to Hoover. Misses low again. 3 balls and no strikes. White pants for Holdgrafer going down to his blue cleats. This has to be a tough spot, Michael, for all the players, but especially the pitchers, to have to wait 2 hours before your scheduled start. The 3-0. On the inside corner for a strike, 3-1.
Yeah, normally it gets you out of your routine, right? You have a specific routine. You wake up that day timed out to the second, because pitchers are creatures of habit. And when you go out of that routine, it might shake you up in the first inning.
3-1 is shot foul by Hoover and a full count.
And when you do something like that, you want to rely on the players around you. A lot of pitchers like to just stay in their own zone all day, up until they start, but you kind of want to stay loose and relaxed throughout the day.
Payoff home to Hoover. Grounded left side right to George Khalil. Comes in a few hops, collects, throws to first in time to get Hoover first out of the ball game, 1 away in the first. A 2-hour and 8-minute delay officially from our scheduled first pitch. I'm always impressed by the Otters fans, and so many have stuck around, enjoyed the great food and drink here at Bosse, and hey, it's the last Saturday night game of the year. You got to stick around and watch some Otters baseball. Brian Fuentes, righty infielder, will step in, third baseman for the Y'alls to face Holdgrafer. 1 out in the top of the first. We're just underway. Breaking ball on the inside corner for a strike, 0-1. And it was interesting. We didn't see really any of the players out for most of the 2-hour delay. I'd say they only came out about 30 minutes or so before first pitch time was announced. The 0-1, a cutter missing outside. 1 ball and 1 strike.
I think that's twofold, too, because you don't want to exude all your energy before you actually have to, as 1, and 2. There are a couple of puddles out in left field and in right field down the line. Want to make sure they stay dry.
1-1. Another cutter at the letters for a strike. 1-2 to Fuentes. It's been so hot all week. We've seen both the Otters and whoever they've been facing, the Slammers and now the Y'alls in this heat wave, staying in the clubhouse as much as possible to avoid the heat. The 1-2, chopped foul left side, but it hasn't been as hot today. Certainly warm, but far more bearable. Kind of the last effects of a heat wave, and certainly this late in the night with what we've experienced over the last week. It's quite pleasant now, I'd say. 1-2 to Fuentes. Holdgrafer turns and delivers. A broken backgrounder left side. Cutting over is Reyes, the third baseman, to field it. Throw to first in time. 2 away in the first.
You know, that's not an easy play to make, too. Reyes moving all the way to his left, has to turn his body to get his right arm some, enough power to come across his body to go to first. It was a quick bang-bang play there, too, at first base.
Tight call at first by James Purnell. Drew Taylor's behind home plate, and Mike O'Leary, the crew chief, is at third base. Reyes cutting in front of Khalil there on the broken bat grounder. So 2 outs, nobody on for the big lefty, Brennan Price, who swings and misses the first pitch he sees, 0-1. Holdgrafer's last outing against Washington on the road on Sunday. He was brilliant to start in Pennsylvania. The 0-1 misses outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Allows just 2 base runners on 2 walks through his first 4 innings of work, but ran into a little bit of trouble in the 6th inning. 4 runs would end up coming across on his tab. Otters would have a comeback win in the 9th inning. 1-1. A changeup at the knees for a strike, 1-2.
Switching it up. The last one was 91. Changeup almost 8 miles an hour off of that fastball. Really just changes how you want to decide at the plate.
Holdgrafer out of the windup, comes home. Price pops it up left side and out of play. It's the first start for Holdgrafer at home since August 4th, oddly enough. 3 straight starts on the road. One of those was against the Y'alls. It was a wet Tuesday night in a series opener. Didn't have great command, 3 walks, and gave up 9 hits and 4 runs. 1-2. Check swing on a ball in the dirt. Appeal down to third. Mike O'Leary says he held up. 2-2 to Price.
Even though it was a wet night out in Florence, you said, they still had one thing that this field did not, the turf.
Yes.
Drainage a lot easier on a turf field.
You can play through some rain showers, and an unexpected overnight storm doesn't cause so much trouble. 2-2, outside corner, strike 3 called. Cutter catches the black, and Price strikes out looking. Holdgrafer, maybe after a lot of our bedtimes, but Tim's dealing a 1-2-3 first. We'll see the Otters offense for the first time on the other side. Scoreless on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
All right, fans, it's time for the Chironi's Pizza Race. We have Patrick, Luke, and Ryan, and they will race from first base to third base while holding a Chironi's pizza box like a waiter. The winner receives a pair of general admission tickets. Runners, are you ready? On your mark, get set, go! Looks like this is going to be a close race. And it looks like Luke is our winner for tonight. Congratulations.
Back at Bosse Field for the bottom of the first inning. A 2-hour field maintenance delay here in Southwest Indiana on the final Saturday night ball game of the year. It's going to be quite the quick turnaround tomorrow. 12:35 first pitch scheduled finale for tomorrow evening, but everyone really wanted to get in the last Saturday night ball game of the year, and we have it here after dark from the River City. Carter Spivey making the start for Florence. He's had a great start to his pro career out of East Carolina. 6 starts, 2-1, 35 1/3 innings work, 3.57 ERA, 26 strikeouts to 12 walks, and Spivey has done his best work against the Otters.
Yeah, he's been absolutely fantastic. 3 of his last 4 outings have been quality outings. He did have one kind of blow-up performance against Gateway, but 2 of those outings of quality outings, it was a 6-inning one against the Otters and one that was 7 innings. So when you look at a guy that has confidence against a team, there's no better, there's no better tale of confidence than Carter Spivey when he goes up against this Otters team.
Otters hoping the 3rd time is the charm. He started both of the last 2 series of the month of August between these two. Here at Bosse Field, went 7 innings, allowed just 2 hits, no runs with 4 strikeouts. And then last week in the series opener, 6 innings pitched, allowed no runs on 5 hits with 7 strikeouts. He's been lights out against the Otters. Ade Richardson will catch for Florence, Craig Massey at first, Tristan Garcia at second, Jeremiah Burks at short, and Brian Fuentes at third base. Reigning Frontier League Player of the Week, Noah Myers, lefty batter, leads off for the Otters. Spivey home, a fastball on the outside corner for a strike to Myers at 90 miles per hour. Lane Hoover in left, Ray Zuber in center, and Hank Zeisler in right, rounding out the fielding lineup for the Y'alls. 0-1 from Spivey. Sails high, 1-1 strike.
Already they have Brian Fuentes with his toes almost on the infield. It almost looks like they're in double play depth with the middle infield back on the grass, but that just goes to show you Noah Myers can hit the ball anywhere.
1-1. This is outside, 2-1 strike. Go ahead, 2-run home run last night for Myers in the 7th inning on a 9-game hit streak. And I think I went on for 30 minutes, it felt like last night, just talking about his incredible really whole season, and especially last few weeks at the plate, as Myers takes a strike on the inside corner, 2-2. You can look at all the numbers, but it's truly the eye test, you could say, of watching Noah play every day. That, to me, is the most impressive. Does everything well on the baseball diamond. Spivey at the belt. The 2-2. Fouled off the screen.
Tell you what, though, the numbers, they could still do
justice,
right?
yeah.
392 here in August, 14 extra base hits. Part of the reason why he was the reigning player of the week.
Another 2-2. Swing and a miss. A fastball outside of the zone. Myers strikes out. One away in the first. Bring up Ethan Skinder. If you're just joining us, we are live here on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Griffin Epstein, Michael Gross, our director Ian Klingler, and the rest of our excellent Otters Digital Network crew on Flow Sports as well. A 2-hour and 8-minute delay due to field maintenance. We had about an inch of rain overnight that came out of nowhere. Ethan Skinder steps in for the Otters. Ready takes outside 1-0. I know, Michael, you said you work at a TV station. You were watching the meteorologists go to work, and they said all the rain was going to miss us. We thought so at Bosse Field. We didn't put the tarp on, and, well, you never know.
Well, yeah, the original plan is always rain's going to go around us. It's going to be north of us. It'll go east of us.
It's what almost always happens here in Evansville.
Yeah, and then, a wind comes out of nowhere and knocks it down south.
Skinder took outside. The 2-0 now. A chopper left side, gloved by Fuentes on the grass. Throw to first, beats Skinder by a stride. 2 up, 2 down for Spivey in the first. And the Otters have done such a great job. You check the radar. You want to be as cautious as possible on a natural field. You put the tarp on as much as possible. And it's just almost amusing in maybe obviously a sad way. You didn't want a 2-hour delay, but the last weekend of the year, finally a night where the tarp isn't put on, causes a huge rain shower and just huge puddles on the field. Everyone got to the ballpark this morning. As Dakota Phillips, the lefty, takes the first pitch outside for a ball, 1-0.
And good things come to those who wait, too. A lot of people still here at Bosse Field waiting for this game to start. 2 hours.
1-0 misses inside, 2 balls and no strikes. Skips into the Otters dugout. Look at everyone. Now, I can appreciate a little craziness that happens at the ballpark late at night. I feel like crazy things just tend to happen, right? They say Pac-12 after dark.
Yeah.
They say Bosse Field after dark.
It's currently Pac-12 after dark.
2-0 sails high, 3 balls and no strikes. College football is back.
Yes.
That was had the Notre Dame game on while everyone was working to clean up the field today. Baseball reaching its climax and football just beginning as we turn towards fall. 3-0 to Phillips. Outside, ball 4. 4-pitch walk to Dak. And the first base runner for either side. Phillips at first with 2 outs. Brings up Yomar Reyes, scoreless here in the bottom of the first. Spivey just 12 walks and 35 in the third innings pitched entering today.
Batting toward the third base, 28, Yomar Reyes.
Otters a come-from-behind victory last night. They came from not one but 2 different deficits. Won 8-4, held Florence to just 3 hits. Spivey home to Reyes, a half swing on a changeup falling out of the zone. He went around 0-1. Otters bouncing back after a series loss to Joliet. Evansville, especially for all the efforts they put in tonight to get the field ready, they would love to have the opportunity to clinch tomorrow. They have to win tonight, and then win tomorrow to have the chance to clinch and need Washington to lose tomorrow as they beat in Lake Erie tonight. Reyes takes outside 1-1. Joliet is lost, so they're out of the really picture for the Otters if they want to clinch this weekend. Evansville's magic number at 3 with 9 games left to play after today. Or 8 games left to play after today. 1-1 from Spivey. Outside, 2 balls and 1 strike.
And there's a lot in a clubhouse when you look at only 3 games to go, magic number of 3 or less. That gets the juices flowing. The adrenaline gets there, too, when you get out on the diamond. It's almost like you can't do much wrong when you know you're right on the cusp of it.
Everything to play for, but getting over the finish line always the hardest. The 2-1 popped up by Reyes into right, falling quickly, diving the second baseman Garcia past his glove. Phillips will go to third, a bloop base hit for Reyes. A right fielder Zeisler did not pick up that ball right away, and Garcia would have made a SportsCenter top 10 worthy catch if he came down with that. A diving catch, trying to make a catch over his shoulder.
Well, Garcia had to go a long way, too. He was pretty much pinned near second base, on the infield or close to the outfield grass even, too. He had to go all the way toward the line, couldn't get there. By the way, Reyes reached all the way out of the zone, too, as a right-hand hitter. It was way outside the zone and just poked it the other way. Sometimes you just get lucky.
Brings up the lefty Kona Quiggle. He takes outside 1-0. So Phillips at third, Reyes at first. 2 outs in the bottom of the first as we're just underway on a Saturday night at Bosse Field. Spivey at the belt. Kicks and throws. Grounded right side, hardly hit, but right at Garcia. Second baseman gloves, throws to first, beats Quiggle, and retires the side in the first inning. Otters get 1 hit, strand 2, no runs in the first. After 1 played, no score between the Otters and the Y'alls on the Evansville Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
It's time for our Shepherd Insurance Furlock Sack Race. Grant, Noah, and Dawson are going to race to see who will go home with some cool merch provided by Shepherd Insurance. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go! It looks like Grant is our winner for the night. Shepherd Insurance is the one-stop shop for all your commercial, personal, benefits, and financial insurance. Creating relationships, finding solutions, protecting you. Shepherd Insurance.
We're back in 10. We can hold it back to another half inning.
Announcing more winners, the EBSC Foundation raffle. Congratulations.
Frontier League Baseball on Flow Sports is presented by Budweiser, the king of beers. Top second, no score between the Otters and the Y'alls. Game delayed over 2 hours due to wet field conditions. Infield's in great shape now. Needed a lot of turfus and a lot of love and care from many staffers here at Bosse Field. Great to have baseball in this middle game, a 3-game set between the Otters and the Y'alls. Final home series of the regular season for the Otters here at Bosse. They're hoping to have a home game here in the playoffs for the first time since 2019, but just trying to get into the playoffs first of all. Greg Massey, lefty, will lead off for Florence in the top of the second inning. Tim Holdgrafer back on the bump, worked a 1-2-3 first. First pitch home, a fastball catches the outside corner for a strike. Holdgrafer turns in the 0-1. Cutter outside, 1 ball and 1 strike.
The interesting thing about Massey is it's his age 34 season. He's been in pro ball for the better part of a decade. And he's 3rd in the league in average. Normally, with age.
1-1 is chopped by Massey up the middle. Coming in, Skinner to glove it on the dirt. Throw to first. Easily beats Massey one away. Yeah, he's one of the older players in the Frontier League.
Yeah, with age, a lot of times in sports, you start to decline. But he's like a fine wine. He gets better as he gets older. And the average just continues to go up. Not that at bat, obviously, with the ground out, but you know, week to week, you see the average creep up a little bit. He batted 300 last year. He's up at 340 now this year.
Sade Richardson will step in, ready catcher for Florence with one out and nobody on. Old Grayford's retired their first 4 batters. Comes home, a cutter at the knees for a strike, 0-1. And Massey, 82 hits, second best on the Y'alls, and he's only played in 62 games this year. He's been banged up in August, just his 10th game of the month of August. One of the veteran leaders, longtime Y'all. The 0-1, another cutter at the knees for a strike, 0-2. Old Grayford out of the windup. 0-2. Cutter outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Another night of a Tim Holdgrafer start, a heavy dose of cutters, mainly a fastball cutter and slider from Holdgrafer. And sticking with his trusty cutter has done him wonders this season. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Fastball in on the hand, strikes out Richardson, the second German-American bank strikeout for Tim Holdgrafer. There's 2 outs in the second, no score. Brings up Ray Zuberer, lefty center fielder for Florence. Holdgrafer back-to-back starts allowing 4 earned runs. It's his most he's allowed in back-to-back outings all season. At his best, nearly untouchable. First pitch to the lefty, Zuberer, a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Zuberer making his series debut. He was a late scratch last night for Florence.
Maybe give Florence some confidence, too, on the base paths if he can get on. He's 4th in the league in stolen bases.
0-1. Sale side, 1 ball, 1 strike. Mentioned it before when Zuberer comes up, too. He's from Owensboro.
Yeah.
It's 30 minutes down the river. And speaking of football, he was a state-winning high school football quarterback at Owensboro Catholic. He finished 2nd in Mr. Kentucky Football, or Mr. Football Kentucky.
Yeah.
Is that what you call it? 1-1, a cutter on the outside corner, 1-2. So he was a multi-sport athlete and just down the river from here in Evansville.
Owensboro Catholic just got a win, too, yesterday.
I heard their quarterback's pretty good this year.
Beating Bowling Green, 42-28.
1-2. Inside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Was Bowling Green was the Fighting Purples or something
The
like
Fighting Purple, exactly correct. You know, I looked at it again for, you know, the second or third time that I've seen that high school, and you would think the Fighting Purples is probably the scariest name you'd have to go against all season.
The 2-2 by Massey is popped up into left. Mattis racing in, diving and making the catch. A sliding catch by Gary Mattis. Flipped his glove out to his left for a web gem of a play to end the second. Mattis flashing the leather and left, and Holdgrafer retires the Y'alls in order in the second. Middle of the second, no score on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
Our Otter Bell will release Hoosier Lottery beach balls into the crowd. When the music starts, pass the ball to the crowd. When the music stops, everyone 18 or older holding the ball will win a $30 Hoosier Lottery prize pack. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, and launch!
Welcome back to Bosse Field, bottom of the second inning. Scoreless between the Otters and the Y'alls. Gary Mattis, a sliding catch out in left field. Guy who's played more second base in Evansville, making a great catch in left, and he's going to lead off for the Otters in the bottom of the second in a scoreless ball game.
You know, Mattis just .213 batting average in 12 games with the Otters. But he brings that defensive prowess that we just witnessed out in left field. It's important to have that type of defensive presence.
First pitch home to Mattis, chopped back off the screen, 0-1. He started left for Mattis. Primarily played second base with the Otters, however, in the D-backs organization, including with the Hillsboro Hops to start the season, out outside of Portland, he was primarily an outfielder. 0-1. Check swing on a ball in the dirt, appeal to first. Mattis held up, 1-1. Griffin Epstein here on the Otters Digital Network. Happy to be joined by Michael Gross for, I guess, just the next 24 hours now. We're playing 18 innings of baseball in a very short period of time. We've already talked about the Fighting Purples. The night can only go up from here. The 1-1 on the inside corner, 1-2.
It made me think of another team that's has a mascot named Purple, the Purple Violets of NYU.
I didn't know NYU has sports.
Yes, the Purple Violets.
1-2, swing and a miss. Fastball up in the zone by Spivey with some mustard on it. One away. Second strikeout for Spivey.
I'm not sure they exactly have a flower as a mascot, but it's definitely the nickname up there.
What division is NYU?
That's a great question.
We'll have to look it up.
I'm gonna get back to you on that.
You're fitting right into Lucas's chair because I felt like all we did was talk about obscure D2 and D3 college mascots on broadcasts. One away, nobody on for Brian Rosario. Switch hitter batting lefty. Spivey winds home. Rosario shows bunt and lays one down the first base line. Glove by Spivey. Throw to first. Beats Rosie. 2 away. Little sneak attack by Rosario down the line. Good play by Spivey, coming off and fielding it cleanly to beat one of the faster runners in the league. 2 away. That brings up Justin Felix, the Otters catcher. No score, bottom of the second. A field maintenance delayed game here at Bosse Field. There have been too many crazy weather events this year here in Evansville, but tonight it certainly will be a game that everyone in attendance will remember no matter what happens over the next 8 innings or so. First pitch to the righty, Felix, a looping, breaking ball in for a strike.
So they're called the Violets. I must have been calling them the Purple Violets, just as a way to say purple twice.
A one sales side. That would be a little redundant,
yes,
actually.
I'd say the redundancy is clear, but they compete in Division III.
Okay. 1-1 coming to Felix. Spivey at the belt, kicks and delivers. Check swing by Felix, but it was a strike anyways on the outside corner. 1-2. I'm curious. I know I was actually talking to someone about this at the New York Boulders press box a couple months ago. Manhattan, where NYU is, does not have a regulation-sized baseball field.
That's correct.
So I don't know if NYU might have to play off Manhattan for most of their sporting events.
Well, there are plenty of schools out in Queens that do.
1-2, popped up by Felix, right side, and foul territory. Massey racing over at the warning track, reaches up the glove, can't make the catch. He overran it a little bit. Felix gets a mulligan.
Well, you have to wonder if maybe the wet conditions had anything to do with Massey maybe running a bit too far, maybe couldn't plant his feet a bit in the warning track area. Is the grass still slick from the rain last night? Because there was a lot of rain just in a short period of time. It has those lingering, lasting effects on a ball field.
Especially a ballpark as old as 108 years old doesn't drain as well as newer parks. And that part of the warning track where Massey was had some big puddles this morning. Another 1-2. Chopped off the screen. Felix stays alive. In the NYU area, being there's not a lot of room for a whole lot of soccer fields or baseball fields or much of anything.
Plenty of room for gyms and indoor tracks.
1-2. Outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
But you're right, 100 yards.
Can't just set up a big
No.
stadium in Manhattan. There aren't exactly open lots.
No, unless you were to roll some grass out into Madison Square Garden. I don't think that would happen out there.
2-2. Outside, and Felix has worked it full.
You know, Spivey's been working that outside part of the plate a lot against right-hand hitters. It's kind of been constantly pounding the outside part of the plate, maybe looking for weak ground balls the other way.
Payoff to Felix. Swing and a miss. Fastball from Spivey strikes out Felix's third strikeout, and he sends the Otters down in order in the second. Two good pitchers going at it tonight, and Carter Spivey and Tim Oldgrafer were scoreless after 2 on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
We have teams of Axon and Carson and Graham and Leon competing to win 2 general admission tickets. Are you ready? Get set, go! Both of them made the first one. Either made a second. Who will win? It looks like it's a tie. Everyone goes home as winners. Awesome job, guys.
Schnooks would like to welcome everyone to Schnooks Rewards Night at Bosse Field. While you're rooting on the Otters, make sure to download the Schnooks Rewards app and start earning money off your groceries at Schnooks. I'm a Schnooks Reward member. And you do get a couple of dollars off each time you go to Schnooks, regardless of what you buy. Schnooks, reward yourself.
Top third from Bosse Field. Scoreless between the Otters and the Y'alls on a delayed Saturday night middle game between Evansville and Florence. Time to take a look at the Frontier League standings, brought to you by Seal Corp. Gateway and Schaumburg have clinched their spots into the West playoff race entering the evening. Schaumburg 2 games back of Gateway. Evansville 5 games back of Gateway. Joliet and Washington not mathematically eliminated, but they're getting real close in the East. Really interesting playoff race. New Jersey and Quebec are tied for first. Tri-City got a huge win last night over in New York. They're a game back entering the evening. New York and Sussex County still with some slim chances to sneak into the playoffs. Really, really interested to see how everything plays out on the East over the next week. West might not have as much drama as the lefty Tristan Garcia leads off for Florence in the top of the third.
Well, the East is much stronger. They have 5 teams with 48 wins or more. The West, just 3 teams. In Evansville, the team with 48.
Garcia takes the first pitch, strike, 0-1. One of the reasons for part of that record is Empire State has 72 losses this year, and they play a lot more of the East teams. But I do agree, it seems the East is definitely a deeper division this year. The 0-1 chopped right side 0-2. And you look at the Frontier League the last couple of years, the East teams have tended to hit more, and the West teams have tended to pitch more. And obviously the Otters fit into that as a pitching-heavy team under Andy McCauley over the last decade. 0-2 to Garcia. Swing and a miss. Back to the trusty cutter for Holdgrafer. 3 strikeouts. He's retired the first 7 batters. Bring up a righty shortstop, Jeremiah Burks. 1 out and the base is empty for Florence. I'll give you a full WJPS 107.1 scoreboard update later, but obviously it's already so late here with the start time. Everywhere else is wrapping up their ball games already. Burks takes a first pitch inside for a ball. Mentioned Washington beating Lake Erie, so the Otters, if they want to clinch at home, will need the Wild Things to lose tomorrow and the Otters to win each of these next 2 games. 1-0 to Burks. Misses low. 2 balls and no strikes. No score, top of the third inning, bases empty. Tim Oldgrafer has retired the first 7 batters. The Otters got a walk and a single in the first, but Carter Spivey has 3 strikeouts and retired the last 4 he's faced. 2-0. Chop left side, Reyes over past his glove. Khalil, the shortstop, will glove it. Backhanded, throw to first in time. George Khalil with a serious arm on that throw on the edge of the left field grass, fading towards the third base line. beats Burks on the throw.
And this will be a theme all night that I talk about with the wet conditions. There is some of that turfus on the dirt, but when you're moving and have to throw across your body as you're moving from the shortstop position, it's not easy to get it to first in time and beat a pretty quick runner such as the shortstop Burks.
Lefty Hank Zeisler up with 2 outs and nobody on. Last batter for Holdgrafer to face the first time through the order. It misses outside for a ball, 1-0. Gateway has beaten Schaumburg tonight, 7-6 win for the Grizzlies over the Boomers. That's a big, big win for Gateway. They go to 3 games back up over Schaumburg with the rubber match of that series tomorrow. Zeisler takes low, 2-0. Gateway win tomorrow pretty much wraps up the West. 2-0 from Tim. Cutter on the outside, Black, 2-1. 35 pitches so far for Holdgrafer here in the top of the third. Set up on the right side of the rubber. Dark black glove at the belt. 2-1. Grounded to right side over as Ethan Skinner a few steps on the edge of the grass. Tosses to first in time. Tim Holdgrafer sends the first 9 batters he faces down in order. Middle of the third. No score on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
Otters are back tomorrow. Warwick County Day, sponsored by Studio B and Adult Days of Summer, brought to you by Barry Global. Enjoy $2 hot dogs, and you can bring your 4-legged friends for one last Dog Days of Summer in the regular season. Tickets at EvansvilleOtters.com or by calling 812-435-8686. In addition to money off your groceries, like I mentioned earlier, Schnucks Rewards members enjoy access to exclusive events, like tickets to tonight's Otters game. You're also able to join Schnucks.
Bottom of the third inning from Bosse Field. Scoreless between the Otters and the Y'alls. Griffin Epstein, Michael Gross on a late Saturday night from Bosse. We have a really good pitching matchup on our hands. Michael Carter Spivey, who's been excellent this year in his pro debut against the veteran Tim Holdgrafer. Both arms looking really good.
And the both of them are trying to work all parts of the plate. They're not staying in one position. They're one spot on the plate. They like to go outside to the right-handed hitters. And, well, it helps when you can go outside and fool them outside and then blow one by you on the inside part of the plate and have them swing right through it. So when you have the talent combined that these two have, a AAA pitcher and then, you know, an all-AAC pitcher down at East Carolina University, the talent between the two of them, you're really seeing a pitching duel here.
George Khalil will lead off for the Otters in the bottom of the third. First pitch to the righty shortstop on the outside corner for his strike 0-1. And we mentioned it right away. Your rhythm might be off after a 2-hour delay, and especially pitchers, as you said, so routine-oriented. But both have been pretty locked in. 0-1 outside on a breaking ball, 1-1. It may not be what all of the fans necessarily wanted after waiting 2 hours, but I talk about this all the time, Michael, on the air. Here's the 2-1. It's lined into left field over the head of Burks and down for a base hit. Hoover will toss it in. Khalil out of the 9-hole with a leadoff base hit in the third. It is the second hit for the Otters, but I love watching these pitchers' duels. They're just so fun to watch, and the cat and mouse games with the offense trying to get anything going, and just watching two pitchers get into a groove and go at it, to me, is one of the most exciting forms of baseball you can get, and maybe I'm old-fashioned to say that.
Oh, no, I am the same way as you. I'm a traditionalist. When they invented the pitch clock here, I thought, oh, we might not get these pitchers' duels again. It might mess with the minds of a pitcher, which are so important.
First pitch to Noah Myers, the lefty takes a strike, and the ball thrown back by Richardson. It's off the bat of Myers. Goes down the third baseline. Picked up by Fuentes, who will toss back to Spivey.
And mentally, it's so important to stay with it with the pitch clock. Now, a lot of these pitchers in a groove, they try and change the way that they view a game, and they want to work quickly and get the batter off guard. They don't want him to be comfortable in the box.
I was thinking the same thing. The 0-1 outside. 1 ball and 1 strike to Myers, who struck out his first time up. Noah Myers is 2 runs away from making history. The most runs in an Otters single season. He has 82 runs scored on the year. 1-1. Outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Josh Allen, not the Buffalo Bills quarterback, but the Otters baseball legend scored I know that's what you were thinking right away. As a guy who spent time in upstate New York.
Yeah.
But Josh Allen, the Otters legend, scored 83 runs in 2017. Noah Myers at 82 with still over a week of baseball left to be played. 2-1. Fouling off the screen, 2-2. This Josh Allen was famous here in Evansville long before anyone knew the quarterback Josh Allen's name. He was still a little kid in Firebaugh, California. Spivey steps off, tosses back to first, and a head-first slide back in by Khalil to the back. Both Noah Myers and Dakota Phillips passing John Schultz and Josh Allen in a bunch of different records, and those are 2 of the better players in Otters history. Shows how lucky the Otters are to have 2 stars. The 2-2, swing and a miss. It foul tipped off the top of the bat and into the glove of Richardson. Carter Spivey striking out Myers his first 2 plate appearances. 1 away in the third as it brings up Ethan Skinder.
It's rare that you see Myers strike out not just once in a game, but twice, especially back-to-back at-bats. We said that the delay might have an effect on the pitchers. What about the hitters, too? It could have an effect on hitters and the way that they view the game.
First pitch to the ready, Skinder, a breaking ball in the dirt, 1-0. There was, of course, no batting practice taken with the infield unusable all day. Some guys went to the cages, but I mean, it's the same thing. You're sitting around, legs get sore, and they were taken out of all of their stretching and long toss routines, and even when they did come back on the field, it was abbreviated. 1-0. High, 2 balls and no strikes to Skinder. The Otters have had a bunch of games delayed this year, but everything's been about an hour and a half. This is the first Otters game this season that's been delayed over 2 hours at start time. Likely going to be the latest into the night Evansville's played this season. 2-0 on the inside corner for a strike.
Hey, you were saying before you were hoping for some midnight baseball.
I mean, at this point, and we were saying it, the game tomorrow at 12:35. No one's getting any sleep anyways tomorrow.
Exactly.
Why not have the clock strike midnight and have some craziness happen? As Spivey steps off, tosses back to first, and stepping back in is Khalil. And the really good thing is fireworks were last night here at Bosse Field, because otherwise we'd have to stop the game soon to set off the fireworks because there is a curfew for fireworks to go off. 2-1 to Skinder, lunged and fouled away right side.
Overhead foul ball brought to you by Heads Construction. Choose the best, never regret it.
It's even later for Florence. They're in the East Coast time zone outside of Cincinnati, so I think for their body clocks, it's almost 10:30 at night. 12:35 game tomorrow. Thinking that the players at least will not be leaving here till midnight. I don't think anyone's going to be getting more than 6 hours of sleep max. 2-2 is fouled away. That's the magic of baseball. You get up and you play every single day. And I loved what Ethan Skinder said to me yesterday. I was talking with him about the heat and dealing with that. And Ethan told me, you know what? Yeah, it is the dog days of summer. When it's the dog days of summer, you got to be a dog. 2-2 coming from Spivey. It's home and high and a full count.
You've seen that meme that has gone around on social media. I guess it's not a meme. It's more just a video of the one player talking about his teammates. He said he's a dog.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, it's
I limit my time on social media.
Yes, I can understand that.
Payoff coming with Spivey at the belt and home. Skinder hammers one high in the air to left. Hoover back at the edge of the track, reaches up and makes the catch. Man, that had the sound off the bat, but it did not carry. And Hoover making the catch on the edge of the warning track.
Yeah, just took it off the end of the bat. It was 90 coming in. I think if it was a little more inside, it was on the outside half of the plate. If it was a little more inside, Skinder would have been able to turn on it a bit more. It had to do with the launch angle there. It was up at 35 degrees. If it came down a bit more, might have had the distance.
Brings up Dakota Phillips. The Otters lefty DH. Khalil at first with 2 outs in the bottom of the third. We're scoreless. Spivey home. Phillips takes outside 1-0. So what is this video about quarterback and dogs?
So essentially there's a player on the team, and he's just trying to hype up his teammates in an interview that he's doing with maybe a news reporter. And essentially he just says,
1-0 to Phillips is fouled ouch off the left side of his foot. And he's down on his knee in some pain before limping as he stands up.
Essentially, the reporter asks him about the team. And the player says, oh, this guy, the running back, he's a dog. The tight end, oh, he's a dog. The cornerback, oh, he's a dog. O-line, offensive line, he's a dog. Pretty much is just saying that everybody on that team is just a hard worker. They will, go into the trenches with you and be nonstop. Just that hard-working talent that you love, and it's a phrase that the younger kids use of he's a dog. He's ready to play. He's always going to be out there and giving it his all, and that's kind of what it was there.
Speaking of dogs, Dakota Phillips is certainly one, and Dr. Mandy Flagg, the Otters athletic trainer, came out to check on Phillips and make sure he's okay. Was down on his knee for a second, now getting back up and into the batter's box. And dog, for those unsure, it's spelled D-A-W-G, not dog like the animal, like Dog Days of Summer tomorrow here at Bosse. That's D-O-G. Spivey ready back on the rubber and home. In the dirt, 2 balls and 1 strike to Dakota Phillips. It's 50 pitches for Spivey here in the third inning, so the Otters have worked his pitch count up on this late, warm night here at Bosse Field. Spivey has not allowed a run against the Otters in his first 2 starts. You now do the math. It's been 15 straight innings without allowing a run to the Otters as Phillips swings and misses at a breaking ball 2-2. He has had Evansville's number. No other way to put it. Working out of the stretch on the heart of the rubber. Bright white cleats, sets at the belt, turns and fires. Khalil takes off, swing and a miss by Phillips. Does retire the side. Strikeout number 5 for Spivey. Works around a leadoff base hit in the third. After 3 innings, no score on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
Otters fans, are you ready to witness some flying pigs? I know I am, because it's time for the Hickory Pit Stop Flying Pigs. We have Landon, Cooper, and Andrew, and they will see who can sling their pigs the furthest. Whoever does wins 2 general admission tickets. Landon had a pretty good start, and next up we have Cooper. Looks a little short, but last but not least we have Andrew. It looks like Landon is our winner tonight. Give him a round of applause.
Welcome back to Bosse Field, top of the 4th inning. No score between the Y'alls and the Otters. To guide you through innings 4 through 6, here's Michael Gross.
Thank you very much, Griffin.
I should probably unmute your mic first.
Yeah, thank you very much, Griffin. Once again, everybody, welcome to Bosse Field in beautiful Evansville, Indiana. A lot cooler today than it has been this week. We had some rain last night, some unexpected rain, as we've been telling you, and well, it gave us a 2-hour delay. And well, now we are in the bottom of the fourth. Not more than 3 base runners all game, and they've all come by way of the Otters bats. It's been 9 up, 9 down so far for the righty Tim Holdgrafer, as Lane Hoover, the left fielder and left-hand hitter, steps into the box. First pitch inside and low, 1-0, and well, Hoover this season, 245 average, now up at 246 actually, 16 RBIs on the year. As Hoover finds the zone, grooves it in on the inside corner, 1-1.
Also an East Carolina Pirate.
Yes.
Like Carter Spivey. It's a great program there. They were so close to making the College World Series 2 seasons ago.
And Hoover cranks it out toward right. Under it is Brian Rosario, easily making the catch, 1 away.
It's safe to say Tim Holdgrafer is rolling right now. 10 up, 10 down. Talk about he's had 4 8-out shutting performances this season where everything is working. But the biggest thing, I mentioned this to you during a break, Michael, is his command was a little bit off, unusual. His last 2 starts, he walked 3 batters apiece, and I don't think he's even gotten to 3 balls yet in a bat tonight.
The very first at-bat of the game was 3 balls. Since then, you're correct, I don't think he's been there again. As we say, that ball 1 on the inside part of the plate to Brian Fuentes, the third baseman. Ground out to third in his first at-bat. As Holdgrafer ready in from the windup. Breaking ball, and Fuentes fouls it up over our heads behind the plate, 1-1. For Holdgrafer, it's about the poise that you have on the mound. When you have a guy that's gotten to the AAA level in the Tigers organization, Toledo Mud Hens, doesn't matter what organization you're in, the pitch outside, doesn't matter what organization you're in, if you can get to the AAA level, you have solidified yourself as a phenomenal pitcher, whether that's as a reliever or as a starter. But now he's come in here, he has 6 shutouts on the year. He's pitched very well for this Evansville team. The 2-2, or 2-1, excuse me, grooves in for a strike, 76, right down Broadway. Infield playing at normal depth as Holdgrafer sets and delivers. Ripped out toward left field. It'll dunk in there for a base hit. And, well, any bit of a no-no or perfect is gone. Just 11 batters in.
70, Brennan Price.
As Fuentes with a single.
Now, the fans are really hoping the 2-hour wait, if they got to watch one of those, a no-no or perfecto, certainly would have been worth it. But Fuentes spoils that. But see, Holdgrafer now have to work out of the stretch for the first time today.
Brennan Price, the big 6'9" lefty, fouls one down the line.
I think what has impressed me a lot about watching Tim all season now, in his 18th start, though, is he works a lot with runners on. You look at his numbers, he gives up a lot of hits. His batting average against is only .269.
Holdgrafer waits and looks down twice. Finally deals, and Price late on a fastball. Fouls it down the third base side, 0-2. He's very calm as well on the mound with the runners on.
A calm guy with runners on. He gives up 4 or 5 hits a game. It's not overpowering stuff, but it is that poise with 1 or 2 guys on. Keeps the ball down. He doesn't give up home runs, just 3 on the season, and limits damage, if not no damage at all.
Price late on a low pitch, skies it high behind third base, and in the short outfield of left, under it is Jomar Reyes. He makes the grab, 2 away, and brings up Craig Massey.
That was the biggest test there, Michael, of if this field was up to snuff, because Reyes backpedaled into what was the biggest problem spot in the infield for the 2 hours they were working on it. It's still definitely a little bit damp back there, but Reyes certainly passed the test, cleanly sliding through and out onto the left field grass.
Holdgrafer deals and misses outside. They must have spent an hour and 10 minutes on that one spot alone. You know, they were at short, they were at second a little bit, definitely by first, but that spot alone, they brought out the big roller and everything under the sun to try and flatten it out, make it a bit drier. The 1-0 in there for a strike, 88, bottom of the zone.
Travis Painter, the Otters GM, he does it all here. He was out on the big rolling machine that would be used, I guess, to roll concrete, but just trying to kind of get the dirt was so damp was the problem. The puddles were gone. Massey took a ball. The puddles were gone, but it was just the air was not soaking up the dampness quick enough, so they needed something to kind of get the dampness to be spread out so the dirt dried quicker.
It's not an easy thing to do, especially after that much rain. The 2-1 with a runner on first. Strike two. Massey not happy with that call, but it was right down the heart of the plate. Maybe not just not happy with himself that he didn't swing. Either way, he's choked up on the bat a little bit as he calls time and steps out.
He has all the players I've seen in the Frontier League, and it's got to be over 100 batters now. 88 games. See, I've not seen anyone choke up more on the bat than Massey does consistently this season.
He's wise with age at 34 years old, knows when to choke up on a certain count. Situational hitting. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Massey chops one toward third. Reyes, the easy play to first in time. No runs, no errors, 1 hit and 1 left on at the end of 3.5. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning, scoreless, right here at Bosse Field.
It's time to show us your best smiles for the Paramount Dental Smile Game. Over 300,000 members trust Paramount Dental, based right here in the Hoosier state of Indiana. Paramount Dental has been ensuring smiles for more than 37 years. Keep smiling with Paramount Dental.
Well, Frontier League Baseball on Flow Sports is presented by Old National Bank. Your success is everything. Carter Spivey back out on the mound for his 4th inning of work, and he's worked pretty well, giving up just 2 hits and a walk. How about the strikeout counter? 5 strikeouts in 3 innings. That means that 9 of the 9 batters, 5 of them have gone down on strikes. 9 outs, should I say. And either way, Evansville hasn't really hit the ball hard on those 2 singles. Spivey has made him swing and miss a bunch of times, and well, he's going to have a tough out to get here with Jomar Reyes batting up over 301. 101 hits on the year, 102 after his hit in the 1st inning. I believe that's 2nd on the team. First pitch and a hefty cut by Reyes, swing and a miss at 0-1.
It's odd, Michael. The Otters at Florence this year, 35 runs in the last series they played, 31 runs in the series in June at Florence.
Spivey deals outside, 1-1.
But they haven't done that much against Florence pitching here at Bosse Field. They did wake up late last night for 8 total runs and 5 runs over the last 2 innings at the plate for 7 hits. But just the last series here at Bosse.
The 1-1 fell right off a table. Spivey pulled the string on it, and Reyes missed, 1-2.
And just 15 hits and only amassed 11 total runs in 3 games. So Otters, their bats have not nowhere have they played better than at Thomas More Stadium.
laced out toward right field, but it spirals foul.
I mean, I've talked to a couple Otters about it, talked to Andy McCauley about it. I don't think anyone knows the rationale by why when the Otters go to Florence, the bats just light up, because they're facing the same pitching staff here, and it's not the same.
Reyes fouls another one back to the right side, and well, the Otters 6-4 against Florence this year. They've played well against the Y'alls.
They took both series in Florence.
Now they're trying to take the final series against Florence here at Bosse Field.
Sometimes it's just vibes. You go to somewhere and the vibes start good and they keep on going good, and sometimes you go somewhere like the Otters at Lake Erie this year where they went 1-5 in Avon and the vibes are just bad.
And I think it helps that the Otters are in that playoff chase, right? They're ready to get into the postseason, and well, the Y'alls are not, and it might help them. I don't know if the Y'alls are going to mail it in or not. They probably won't, but still.
Play spoiler.
Try and play spoiler as Reyes swings and misses for a strikeout. Sixth strikeout of the night, should I say. It's normally evening around this time if we started on time, but it's sixth strikeout of the night for Spivey. Brings up Kona Quiggle.
It's all clicking for Spivey. The fastball command has been good, but the changeup has been really effective as well. It's leading to a lot of swings and misses from the Otters.
Quiggle hold the bunt back, and 82 miles an hour off the outside part of the plate.
He's got a little cutter as well. Seeing the curveball.
The 0-1 up and in. Good eye from Quiggle. This year, the first baseman's been an extra base hit machine, 20 doubles on the year. As he cuts and misses, almost down to a knee. 1-2.
Go ahead, Michael.
Well, I was just going to say that just goes to show Spivey mixes up the speeds, mixes up locations, and he can make batters look silly. Just like that, as Quiggle went down to a knee.
I think watching him how dominant he's been against the Otters, it's mystifying that he hasn't been signed yet with an MLB team or wasn't drafted.
The 1-2, just below the zone, 2-2.
You kind of look at what he did at ECU, though. He's American Pitcher of the Year in 2022 as a reliever, 35 appearances, just 2 starts. And then last season, he started as a weekend starter, struggled a little bit. They put him in the bullpen. He had a good year, but not a great year, which I think kind of hurt his numbers just going for the draft, as Quiggle fouled one away. Kind of like ECU never really decided this past season whether they wanted him as a starter or a reliever.
Well, either way, he still led the Pirates in innings pitched and in wins, so whether or not he was a reliever or starter, I don't think it mattered to his performance, as the 2-2 got the dirt, 3-2.
Saying maybe for in terms of MLB scouts, they're both the numbers maybe not as good as they were the year before, and both also as a scout, you're not sure, is this guy long-term a starter, is this guy long-term a reliever? And he's kind of being used both ways.
The payoff skied high, back behind the shortstop in the infield. It is the shortstop, Burks, under it to make the grab. 2 away. He's also still young, Carter Spivey. Just his first year in pro ball.
No, you don't have to figure it out now for sure.
Exactly. You have plenty of time. And, well, the way that the Frontier League is set up, it's a place to showcase yourself, right? You don't have to be afraid of not being able to work through the ranks within the major league affiliated teams, in those minor league teams. You don't have to worry about working through those ranks and potentially getting sent back down. This is a place where you can make mistakes, and normally that's college right before you get there. But now there's a buffer zone, as you might want to call it, as Mattis swings and misses at the 1-0, make it 1-1.
Absolutely, and the results speak for itself. All the players that have been called up to the next level across the league. Just had Tyler J., who was just here with Joliet. Got announced he got called up to the Mets organization Thursday evening. I think from watching Spivey, and certainly some of his accomplishments at ECU, this is a guy in the next couple of years that someone is going to sign and going to be lucky they have the righty from Aldi, Virginia.
1 ball and 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. The pitch upstairs at 91. Missed the zone by, I'd say, about a foot. Mattis, the right-hand hitter, waves the bat at the plate. The pitch, strike 3, swinging. Another strikeout for Carter Spivey on the curveball. And well, the Otters go down 1-2-3. At the end of 4, it's scoreless here at Bosse Field on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Southwest Graphics Evansville Otter Bells.
Welcome back to Bosse Field. The Otters and the Y'alls deadlocked right now at a thrilling 0-0 game. It is a
You made it sound like it was sarcastic, Michael.
No,
but
no, it
but
is.
It actually, from guys
is.
that love pitching, it is actually thrilling.
It's a pitching duel, and we said before we are baseball traditionalists, you and I, Griffin. And well, with that comes with the love for a great pitcher's outing, and not just one of them, but 2 of them. And when they go head-to-head, it's some of the most exciting baseball there is.
I agree. And there's just a beautiful rhythm to the game. The pitcher is in a rhythm, and baseball is all about a rhythm and the balls and strikes and outs going by. And it's just all clicking right now, both for Tim Oldgrafer and Carter Spivey. They're in his zone, and it's beautiful to watch.
Well, Oldgrafer back out on the mound for a 5th inning of work. Misses the zone, 1-0. He had a strikeout in the 1st, strikeout in the 2nd, a strikeout in the 3rd, none in the 4th. He did give up the 1st hit of the game, and this could be the 2nd as it drops in there, and Zade Richardson, the catcher, with the 2nd hit of the ball game for the Y'alls.
Cutter low in the zone. Find some grass in center field. Certainly with the damp grass as well, players may not be as comfortable going on a full sprint with the wet turf, though we've seen some nice plays so far, both the outfield and the infield. That radar that showed potentially some rain around now is so far cleared up.
It's dissipated.
Knock on wood.
So far, it's dissipated, which is nice. The pitch in the dirt. Good block there from Justin Felix behind the plate. He kept Zade Richardson over at first base and was lucky it was Richardson and not Ray Zuberer, the center fielder, who's at the plate right now. He's got 39 stolen bases this year. That is 4th in the league. The 1-0 misses inside on a breaking ball. 2-0.
The radar looks pretty good what I looked at it, but you almost went to meteorology school, so I'll trust you for once. I'm typically the resident meteorologist when I'm in the broadcast booth, but I think you're the expert tonight.
Sure, we can call what I did for a semester in undergrad expertise. The chopper toward the right side, and Zuberer has a base hit. Back-to-back base hits, the first back-to-back base hits of the game for Florence. 3rd hit of the ball game for the Y'alls, and now there's 2 runners on with nobody out, and this is a pressure situation for Oldgrafer that he hasn't seen in quite some time.
First time Florence has put 2 good bats together, and Just another cutter timing upright and putting it through the 4-3 gap by Zuberer.
Here's Tristan Garcia, the second baseman. He struck out in the third inning. He squares around, drags one down the first base side. He tags him. Ball does come out, but it's on the transfer, as the first base umpire, James Purnell, says. And, well, the runners will move over. The batter will be out. But still, there's 2 runners in scoring position. With the shortstop, Jeremiah Burks, up and only 1 out in the inning.
Now, feels like a low-scoring game, and seems like the right call. Garcia does his job. Set a nice drag bunt down the line, and now you have 2 in scoring position for Florence.
Infield on the first base side in a couple steps. Holdgrafer's first pitch is a strike.
Tim's poise all season long in these situations has been impressive. And the Otters, they want to clinch at home. This is a must-win ball game here tonight. Big moment.
The 0-1 from Holdgrafer, a check swing. Did he go? No umpire out down the first base line, but Purnell makes the call from second. Did not. 1-1. All right, this could be a turning point in the game if Florence can strike first. Holdgrafer sets the glove just below his chest. The pitch, foul tip, in and out of the glove, still a strike, 1-2. The Otters, when scoring first, 37-16. When their opponent scores first, 11-23. So Holdgrafer will really give it his best college try to try and keep the Y'alls off the board. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and an out. 2 in scoring position. And the righty deals. Strike 3, swing and a miss. 2 outs in the inning. The 4th Great American Bank strikeout. German American Bank, excuse me. Strikeout, and now that'll bring up the right fielder, Hank Zeisler. 15 RBIs on the year. A .368 on base percentage, so that's important in this situation. Because even if he doesn't get a hit and he just walks, he'll load up the bases, which will bring more pressure to Holdgrafer. The pitch a bit low, 1-0.
Now, last at bat to Burks, Michael. Holdgrafer had thrown it was 3 cutters, 1 changeup, and then finished with the fastball. Burks was late. Just really like how Tim set that up in a position where he really needed a strikeout.
The 1-0, a breaking ball. Must have just missed on the outside half of the plate. So it'll be 2-0 with 2 outs. Zeisler, the left-handed hitter. Easier for a lefty to see a right-handed pitcher. Richardson off of third, Zuberer off of second. The pitch grooved in for a strike.
I think a lot of pitchers, their strikeout pitch is the breaking ball. I almost think for Holdgrafer, it's the other way around. He throws such a heavy dose of cutters. If he gets to 2 strikes, that's probably where he's going to use his fastball.
2 balls and a strike and 2 outs. In a dangerous situation, potentially, for the Otters. The breaking ball lifted high and deep out toward left center field. Under it, the center fielder, Noah Myers. And take a deep breath, Otters fans. Still no runs on the board. Holdgrafer gets out of a dangerous jam. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Welcome back into Bosse Field here on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Michael Gross, Griffin, Epstein. Glad you're all with us here on a late Saturday night, and thanks for hanging in there with us. We had a 2-hour delay, but we're in business. The Otters and the Y'alls deadlocked right now, 0-0 in a pitcher's duel. Not much for the Y'alls in terms of future, but the Otters still looking to get that final playoff spot.
Yeah, magic number down to 3. Otters have had so much success under manager Andy McCauley. If the Otters can close that magic number to 3 with just 9 games left to play, counting tonight, they'll make the playoffs for the 6th time in the last 7 seasons under Andy McCauley. And the only year they missed the playoffs in 2021 was a weird quirk of division rules in a rainout. They finished a half game back of Florence and actually had the second best record in the whole league, but didn't make the playoffs. Some might say they were robbed.
Yeah, I would say so. First pitch from Spivey in the bottom of the 5th to strike. Scoreboard not yet updated. Still says, oh, now we're in there. Still,
I was a little tired tonight.
yes. The pitch in the dirt from Spivey. 1-1.
I was kind of mentioning this, talking with Ethan Skinder last night. I've certainly felt it through all 6 games. Is just the days and this homestand have felt so much longer than anything else all season because of the just insane heat wave that we've been through. And finally today was some respite. But Tuesday through Friday, the real field temperature is with pretty much no relief at 100 degrees from dawn till dusk, and even in the middle of the night. Just wears on everyone.
The 1-1 upstairs, 2-1. And yeah, the heat index as well was up near 110, 115.
I had it 115 on, I guess it was yesterday afternoon. I was walking around the ballpark and seeing if I could make it all the way around the field. I did, but barely.
Brian Rosario skies it foul, count even at 2. And well, local meteorologist Wayne Hart over at Channel 25 and 7, he said that yesterday was the hottest day of the year, of the calendar year. And I believe it.
That's what I imagined.
It
yeah.
felt like it. You were outside for 5 minutes, maybe just even sitting in a chair, you'll break a sweat within those 5 minutes.
It's been remarkable to see the players push through it and play through it. And this is, you'd rather have it in June. You don't want it in the second to last week of the season when everyone's already exhausted.
That's why they call it the dog days of summer. Spivey deals the 2-2 low and in. Count is stretched to full. Rosario at .232 this year, .360 on base percentage, which is fairly good. We're going to get something going in the bottom of the 5th inning. As the righty deals, chopper toward the right side. Second baseman Garcia over to Massey for the first out of the inning.
Just love watching Garcia field. Lucky to watch him in the Northwoods League a couple summers ago when I was broadcasting there. He's 5'5", but he's got such a low center of gravity. He moves like almost like a surfboard atop the water, just skidding atop the water, and such a smooth play, moving way over to his right with an infield that's not in the best shape in the world, and made a really hard play look easy.
It almost looks like poetry when a guy can easily go move from his left to his right as Felix swings and misses, 0-1.
Poetry in motion,
Poetry in motion. That's a lot of baseball. You mentioned before the rhythms. It is almost like music. Baseball is like a song. You have to have rhythm, sometimes some rhyming.
In some ways, I've almost seen it as a book, and I know I've heard people say, every game is a chapter. In chapter 88 of the Otters season, and right now the goal is to have an epilogue for the Otters and make the playoffs.
They'd like to do that, and so would Justin Felix, who fouls away another pitch, 1-2. And it would be important for them to not just clinch a playoff spot, but to possibly clinch it at home. And to do that, they'd have to win each of the next 2 games and pray that Washington loses tomorrow. They won today 6-5 in extra innings.
It would be ironic to me if the Otters win the next 2 games and are held back by something bad happening again at Mercy Health Stadium.
Felix rips one down the left field line, just foul by about 2 feet. Felix would have had an easy stand-up double. Instead, he's got to waltz his way back to the batter's box.
Just a millisecond too late, and Felix just missed first extra base hit for what would have been either side's first extra base hit today. That's how good both pitchers have been.
Felix now back in the box and ready. Righty on righty. Spivey from the belt. He deals, swing and a miss. Another strikeout for Carter Spivey. On the day, that's number 8, and we're still just 2 away in the 5th inning.
A change up falling out of the zone just kept the Otters off balance all night. Khalil coming up, he's the last Otter that reached with a single back in the 3rd.
Since Khalil, it's been 8 straight retired, 5 by way of the K. The pitch to Khalil, first offering in there for a strike on a breaking ball. Little up in the zone. .237 average this year, George Khalil. Spivey goes back to the outside, which he's done a lot after going inside, but he misses there, 1-1.
I'm so impressed still how so many people have still stuck around Bosse Field after 10 o'clock, and I'd say about half the fans that were here at the start of the game have still stuck around.
Pitch upstairs, and well, a couple of tykes as well. Some children still here, maybe a bit past their bedtimes, but no matter to them. They're watching baseball, America's greatest game.
It's not a school night.
No, it is not. That is correct. As Khalil ropes one toward left and a base hit. A 2-out single for the shortstop Khalil to turn the order over, and well, that'll bring up the center fielder Noah Myers, who has had some struggles early on in this game facing Carter Spivey. Back-to-back Ks in his first 2 at-bats. Hasn't been able to figure Spivey's locations out yet. You'd think a lefty would have an easier time against a right-handed pitcher, but it's Spivey with the advantage. The first 2 at-bats of the game for Myers as he cuts and misses on a ball low and out of the zone.
George has really impressed over the last 10 games now. Khalil, 13 hits. He had 9 games off in early August, and since then has looked really rested and recharged. A 2-hit day already today.
A big lead, and Myers sounded like a broken bat, so the exit velo a bit low, and well, it went right to the glove of Tristan Garcia at second base. Well, you can take the air out of the balloon there just when you thought the Otters had something brewing. Well, they are thwarted in their tracks by Carter Spivey. That's it for 5 innings. Still no score here at Bosse Field. We'll be right back on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Welcome back to Bosse Field on the Otters Digital Network. Frontier League Baseball on Flow Sports is presented by Working Distributors, Evansville. Well, Carter Spivey had put on just a display of pitching so far through 5 innings, and well, the same can be said for Tim Holdgrafer. I mean, not as many strikeouts in the book as Spivey, but still commanding pitching, giving up just 3 hits. His first hit given up was in the 4th, then 2 in the 5th. You pray it doesn't grow exponentially from that, but you know, as you get into the later innings, the arm gets a little bit more tired, and well, Holdgrafer is going to have to try and hold his own on the bump as Evansville looking to clinch a playoff spot in the next couple of days.
6th inning is often the hardest for pitchers. This is where Holdgrafer struggled a little bit in his last outing. Couldn't finish the 6th last Sunday at Washington. Also the 3rd time through the lineup, as they say, always the toughest.
I was just going to say the same thing. Once you get to that 3rd time, that's when the manager gets a bit weary. Somebody walking out to the bullpen out in left field. Not sure if they're getting ready to warm up or just going to take a seat next to the cooler, and I think it's the latter. Nobody out in right field as Holdgrafer deals and misses low, just out of the zone by about 2 inches. Lane Hoover grounded out to short in the 1st and flew out to right in the 4th. Now back up for his 3rd plate appearance here in the top of the 6th as he takes inside 2-0.
71 pitches for Tim Holdgrafer. He's not a guy that goes as long as maybe other starters do. Only 3 times this year over 100. His season high 102 pitches.
Another fastball. This time it finds the zone. So no 3-0 count. It's 2-1. This is the only batter that Tim Holdgrafer has faced this evening that has gotten him to a 3-0 count. The 2-1 lined on the ground to short. Khalil on to Quiggle, 1 away.
Otters bullpen pretty well rested. Parker Brahms did such a good job on Thursday night for Evansville. Came out of the bullpen and didn't allow a base runner in 3 2/3 innings pitch. Kevin Davis probably not available tonight for the Otters. He pitched an inning in 2/3. But Jake Polancic had a relatively quick outing to close the game in the 9th on just 14 pitches. So I think everyone besides Davis should be fresh tonight for the Otters.
Parker Brahms trotted out to the dugout, or to the bullpen, excuse me, and he just went out to go take a seat. Count 1-0 now to the right-hand hitting Brian Fuentes. Had the first hit of the ball game for the Y'alls. That was back in the 4th inning. Holdgrafer delivers, finds the outside part of the plate, and Fuentes did not like the call.
I think right now, though, the guys in the bullpen, a lot of them do, they got their feet kicked up, and they just love watching Tim Holdgrafer pitch.
They love what we love, which is a pitcher's duel. It means less work for them as Fuentes skies it foul.
I would talk with Hunter Clucky a couple times, and whenever it's a Tim Holdgrafer day, his eyes just light up in excitement that he gets to sit field level and watch Tim pitch. He's a guy that so many on the Otters look up to. His experience, as you said, making it as high as AAA last year, but also just a good leader and such a good guy to have around the clubhouse.
You don't always have to lead with your voice. You can lead by example, by action, and that's what Holdgrafer has done all season long. The 1-2, a bit low. And he's trying to have a strong, we assume, second to last start here in the regular season. It is Saturday before the last week. As the righty delivers, it's turned on quickly, but it rolls foul. Count still 2-2.
I wouldn't want to talk about it too much because I think until we're in the last week of the season, getting ahead of ourselves to start talking about wild card games and all that. But obviously, Holdgrafer would be a prime candidate if the Otters are in the one-game wild card to start.
2 balls and 2 strikes. The pitch rolled over towards short. Khalil. Throw on a first. Great play by Kona Quiggle. Outstretched and picks it up. An important out for the second of the inning. And that'll bring up Brennan Price. He'll try and extend the inning.
George Khalil has 3 different throws tonight that have just almost made my jaw drop. Going the wrong way towards the third base side, such arm strength. And Kona Quiggle has turned into an outstanding first baseman after not playing there the first half of the season. So long and quite a stretch there at first to reel in that long throw from Khalil.
Sometimes you need a change of pace, a change of scenery for Kona Quiggle. You're right, not playing there first half of the season. Transitioned to that first base bag as Holdgrafer deals the 1-0. Cuts in a hearty miss from Brennan Price, 1-1.
60 starts in center field for Kona. He's a great outfielder. He's made some diving catches. I think he enjoyed it out there, but I know when I talked to him, he said the exact thing. It's fun being at first. It's a little bit faster and cool to mix things up.
The 1-1 outside, just under the 90 miles an hour mark from Holdgrafer. Still up near that 90 mark in his 6th inning of work. The 2-1 misses low and in. Now Holdgrafer in jeopardy of dealing his first walk of the ball game.
It's just the second at bat where he's fallen behind 3 balls to someone.
Yes.
Wow.
3-1, and he does miss outside. Low and away, and Brennan Price will trot on down to first. A happy camper, bringing that on-base percentage up from 441, probably just up another notch to 442 or so.
He takes so many walks for a big guy. I feel like every game the Otters have played against him, he gets a walk or 2. He has 61 on the season, which leads the Y'alls.
Massey up again with 2 outs. His second at bat in that category, but first pitch he rolls over and he slams the helmet on the ground, and Quiggle makes the easy play. Well, a quick inning after Brennan Price worked a walk. The Y'alls leave 1 on, and we go to the 7th inning on the bottom of the 6th, excuse me, on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
Time to dance for the dance cam. Brought to you by Drake's. Drake's is your go-to for 24 beers on tap, big burgers, and the freshest sushi and all of Evansville. Visit Drake's at 1222 Mercer Road or drakescupplay.com. Now let's dance. And let beautiful Bosse Field be the venue for your next celebration with one of our Grand Slam picnics, and you and your guests will receive an exclusive Otters Special Edition hat. If you'd like to be part of the Evansville Otters home game, go to EvansvilleOtters.com or calling 1-2-435-8686. And we are dancing. Also saying happy 16th birthday to Ethan Thomas, who's here at the ballpark tonight. Happy birthday to Ethan Thomas, celebrating birthday number 16 with the Evansville Otters.
You're watching the Evansville Otters and the Florence Y'alls right here on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Glad to have you with us from Bosse Field as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Michael Gross, Griffin, Epstein. And it's been one heck of a game so far. It's been all pitching, and that's the way we like it.
Yeah, I hope the fans that waited 2 hours and 8 minutes like pitching too, because it's been a showcase between Carter Spivey and Tim Holdgrafer. Just 6 combined hits between the two sides. Haven't seen a walk. It's been quick moving, and who's going to blink first between Carter Spivey and Tim Holdgrafer? It might end up being the bullpens and not them two.
Well, there is some action down the third base line. Not much on the first, and Skender turns over on one, but a bit early hits it foul, 0-1.
Got the flamingo going. That's one of my favorite stretches.
The one leg, stretch the hamstring and the quad, touch the ground. The 0-1 is in there for a strike on a swing and a miss, 0-2. It's always interesting to watch the bullpen guys warm up because everybody has a different routine. No routine is the same. Everything is unique. And they do it at their own pace, too. No balls, 2 strikes. Spivey deals, and Skender slices it foul behind him.
Now they can be very particular about their routine. The game that Otters pitching coach Max Peterson got ejected from, and the batters wanted to mess with the pitchers and start getting people warm that weren't gonna actually throw in the game just because they knew it would bother them so much.
Skender bit under that pitch, and sky high in the infield, the third baseman Brian Fuentes to make the grab. 1 away in the bottom of the 6th.
Designated hitter number 7.
Well, here comes Dakota Phillips, the DH, the first base runner of the game for the Otters. He walked in the first inning. Since then, he just struck out in the 3rd. First offering from Spivey is low, and well, Phillips, we mentioned before, second most RBIs in franchise history. 186 is the mark he's at. He's at 69 this season. Second offering from Spivey is low and in the dirt, 2-0.
His home run last night, too. 41st career home run, tying him with Josh Allen, 3rd most home runs in franchise history.
And touchdowns. 2 balls, no strikes, in and out. The pitch misses again, just below the zone. A matter of inches again. The count 3-0. Phillips looking to work his second walk of the game. The pitch low and in, and he does so. Spivey, a guy that doesn't walk many, has walked Phillips 2 times, the only 2 times he's administered a walk tonight. And the Otters have a base runner with the heavy-hitting Jomar Reyes to the plate.
92 pitches now for Spivey. Tim Holdgrafer's finished the 6th. No action in the Otters' pen, so probably coming for the 7th. But this might be Spivey's last inning of work. It's certainly not a good sign, a 4-pitch walk.
A short lead from Phillips off of first as Reyes watches strike 1 on a breaking ball. No balls and a strike. Spivey set at the belt. Kicks and delivers. The pitch outside. 1-1.
It's getting so late, the housekeepers are coming to take our trash away. They're ready to go home.
They're working hard. They're working hard. 1 ball, 1 strike, and a runner on. 1 out in the inning. Reyes slaps one, but foul down the first base side. It hits the tents over in the party deck area.
Now the pitcher's duel is probably going to prevent us from midnight baseball. This game has been rolling along. We started at 8:43 and closing in on finishing 6 innings in about an hour and 40 or so. Actually slowed down a little bit over the last couple innings, but still at a good pace.
Aaron Rund up in the bullpen on the left field side for the Y'alls as Reyes fouls another one down the first base line. Rund, a product of Campbell University. The Fighting Camels, as we talked about, fun nicknames for schools. That's one, Campbell University. Still a runner on first is Phillips. A righty on righty matchup at the plate. Reyes grounds one toward the right side. Might have gotten caught in the dirt, but still, Tristan Garcia makes the play. And there's 2 away in the inning, but the Otters threatening with a runner in scoring position, and Kona Quiggle coming up to the plate.
They advanced the runner, and certainly a little bit of a still damp turf over damp dirt over on the right side helped prevent any chance of a double play. The ball took a while to get to Garcia, and he kicked up some wet dirt underneath the turface that's been put atop of it.
Tonight's attendance, 2,247 here at Bosse Field. Probably a bit earlier, certainly has cleared out a little bit now, but fans sticking around. Still this one young boy in yellow, rubbing his eyes now, might be ready for sleep. The pitch from Spivey, the 1-0, outside, 2-0.
You worried? You think it's time to get him to bed?
Oh, no temper tantrums yet, but he's actually doing a little dance now. He's stopped watching the baseball.
He's got energy. Someone might have given him a little bit of candy.
Well, no sugar before baseball games. The 2-0, Quiggle cuts and misses. Almost swung out of his socks there, 2-1.
This is one of the ones you remember your parents let you stay up way past your bedtime because you're at a baseball game. What's better as a kid?
Yes, and you want to leave with potentially a win for the team you're rooting for as well. That might make it taste a little bit better in the morning. The 2-1, a changeup now after going with 90 down the middle. The count 2-2. It's those long nights when you're a kid and you go to the ballpark or a football game, a basketball game, and well, you just have the time of your life. You might not pay attention the whole time, but those are the nights you remember.
Absolutely.
2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs with Phillips off of second. The pitch upstairs. Fastball missed. Count is full.
Back when you're little like that, everything is so big and exciting. As you get older, you get used to it, and it's not as fun anymore. But I've talked to so many people that work here at Bosse and talked about being a young kid and running around the bases after the game as a little kid, and they never remembered what team won or lost. They just remembered the overall experience.
Night underneath the lights, and well, the lights are not too bright for Kona Quiggle as he works a walk on 3-2. And here's Gary Mattis. His luck has not been great in this contest. 2 strikeouts, 1 in the second, 1 in the fourth. Just his 13th game of the season, and potentially
It's Carl Craigie, the pitching coach.
so we probably are in for a pitching change soon. I think we'd say if one more batter gets on, or even if Spivey gets into trouble, we might see Aaron Rund, a tall 6'5" righty, up in the bullpen.
I think the Y'alls would love to see Spivey try to get this last out, but you're right, any more sign of trouble, probably have to go to the pen. It's a depleted and struggling Y'alls bullpen, though, and I trust Spivey more still here to get this last out of the 6th.
Well, let's take a look at how the outfield is positioned right now. Right field in pretty even depth. The center fielder a bit over toward his left, toward right field, and the left fielder leaving a big gap between him and the left field line as Mattis takes the ball upstairs on a fastball. Interesting position from the outfield to a right-hand hitter. Big gap between first and second as well as Tristan Garcia playing close to the bag. Pitch up and in, and uh-oh. Mattis not happy. Fastball slipped from Carter Spivey, and well, I wouldn't be happy either. Gary Mattis took one up near the hands. Still another base runner as he shakes it off. And the bases are loaded for the right fielder, Brian Rosario. This could be an interesting opportunity for Rosario. Does have 24 RBIs on the year. Even just getting on base, mind you, would get the job done, but I'm not sure if Spivey gets behind in the count, whether or not they might go to the bullpen mid at bat. Well, we'll have to wait and see. The 0-0, and Rosario cuts and misses foul.
Rosie had a nice night last night. Pinch hit for Jeffrey Baez after Baez was hit in the hand and ended up going 2 for 2, drove in a run.
Bases are juiced. No balls and a strike with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. Rosario watches that one down Broadway. 0-2.
Fastball still at 92 for Spivey. The command certainly tailed off a little bit. 2 walks and a hit by pitch, but still throwing with some good velocity.
And it's impressive, too, this deep into the game, late in the 6th inning. Up near that 100 pitch mark. No balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Phillips off of third, Quiggle second, Mattis off of first. The pitch in the dirt, but kept in front by Zade Richardson. It's always important to have a good backstop of a catcher, defensive-minded catcher. It's great when your catcher can hit, but it's even better when your catcher can keep the ball in front of him on an errant pitch.
That was as big a play as anyone's made all game.
Spivey at the belt, looks in. The 1-2. Rosario chops one towards second. Mattis out of the way. He falls to the ground. Ball gets away from Garcia. Quiggle comes home to score. The Otters get one across the board, maybe with a little bit of luck or with a little bit of help from the wet turf. Actually, they got a second across the board. Not only did Quiggle score, but so did Dakota Phillips. And out comes Chad Rhodes, and that'll be all for Carter Spivey.
A bounce of a baseball can decide a ball game. It's certainly a little bit more of a damp dirt. It slowed down that baseball. Wasn't hard hit to begin with, and Garcia got a little bit ahead of himself, bobbled the baseball, and with 2 outs, Phillips scored easily from third. Quiggle kept on going with the ball behind Garcia. The Otters get 2 across. Curious to see, what's that rule? I'm still waiting. Is it an error? Is it a hit?
They just ruled it as an error on the second baseman, Tristan Garcia. I think it's the right call. You know, it's not an easy play to make, a high chopper when it comes into you, especially with...
And Rosario's speed, too, I think that makes Garcia rush. You think if that's, Yomar Reyes, no disrespect, but not the quickest runner. And maybe Garcia makes that play because of less of a rush. But, yeah, I agree with the call. I think it's an error. It's a play you should have and that's tough. You don't have a single hit here come across for the Otters in the inning, but Evansville scores 2, and they've got the lead here in this pitcher's duel.
Well, Mattis was coming right across from first to second. He had to jump and dive out of the way acrobatically. And he actually was on the ground for a half a second. He thought that Garcia had made the play, so he didn't get up originally. When the ball trickled away from Garcia and his glove, Mattis turned behind him, quickly got up off the dirt, and got to second base safely. That also could have been the end of the inning right there, too.
I didn't honestly even see him fall. I was watching the runners come home. There was so much going on, and I think everyone's just a little bit more careful on a field that's in playing condition, but it's certainly not 100% with all the work that was done in the 2 hours before the game. Just a weird, wacky play. I think the only way to get the first runs on the game in a pitcher's duel in a game late on a Saturday night. You really wouldn't have it any other way.
Well, here's Aaron Rund, a righty from California, 6'5". Last played for Campbell University and the Fighting Camels. They're in the Big South. In 3 seasons there at Campbell University, a 4.90 ERA across 150 and 2/3 innings. Last season, 21 games in relief. Struck out 71 batters in 61 innings pitched. And led the team in saves with an even number of 5. Here's Justin Felix, 2 on. Runs pitch upstairs, 1-0.
It's been good since being signed by Florence. 2.65 ERA is actually the best ERA of any active Florence pitcher. 8 appearances, 17 innings pitched, 19 strikeouts, just 3 walks.
The pitch, and Felix fouls it back. Up over the grandstand behind him.
So many of these rookie pitchers on Florence that have been signed since the All-Star break. It's been a revolving door of guys for the worst pitching staff statistically in the Frontier League West.
The pitch from Rund, a breaking ball. Slices the outside part of the plate, 1-2. Mattis off of second. It's Rosario off of first. Rund patiently looks in. Kicks it, fires, and that ball in the dirt, 2-2.
Both runs came across as unearned, so Spivey still now 3 starts against the Otters this year. He's not going to give up an earned run.
But he's not going to get a quality start. Did not go 6 full innings. 2-2, the pitch. Sky high, but foul and trickling out of play. We'll do it again. Felix went to the IL early in the season, came back on August 3rd. Since then, batting 167. He's been unlucky tonight. 2 strikeouts. Anything better than a strikeout would be better as the runners go, but there it is, another K, a 3rd K in the score line for Justin Felix. He can't like that, but you know what he can like? The Otters putting across 2 runs in the bottom of the 6th inning. They now have the lead with 3 to play here at Bosse Field and the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
Frontier League Baseball on Flow Sports is presented by Bud Light. Top 7 from Bosse Field. The Otters have taken a 2-0 lead over the Y'alls in air by Tristan Garcia at second on a soft bouncer off the bat of Brian Rosario, scoring 2 runs with 2 outs for Evansville to put the Otters in front 2-0. It was 2 walks. They hit by pitch to load the bases, and then Rosario's chopper to the right side, skidding off the glove of Garcia, and those are the only 2 runs of the ball game. Tim Holdgrafer has been dealing all night, 85 pitches through 6 innings, 4 strikeouts, 1 walk. Has allowed just 3 singles. He will face Ray Zuberer, ready center fielder, to lead things off in the 7th. Black glove for Holdgrafer on the right side of the rubber, kicks and delivers home. Misses low. It's Zaid Richardson make that ready catcher with Zuberer on deck.
I meant to say before, the runs came across last inning without a hit in the inning.
Yeah. Richardson swings and lines one into left. It one hops in front of Mattis for a base hit. It's a 2-hit night for the catcher from New Richmond, Ohio. After going hitless last night, he's responsible for half of the Florence hits tonight. Richardson at first. Now it brings up Ray Zuberer. Otters bullpen As John Beamer just starting to stretch up and do some arm circles, but no one close to throwing yet. Holdgrafer has 4 8-inning shutout performances this season. First pitch to Zuberer, sails low for a ball, 1-0.
The other 2 shutouts that he has have been 6 innings, so he's already surpassed that mark.
Looking for his 9th win of the season. That would move him in a tie for 5th most wins in the league, one back of a bunch of guys with 10. 1-0 to the lefty, fouled off the screen, 1-1. Entered the day 7th in the league in ERA among qualifying pitchers. And 20 career wins. A win tonight would move him in a tie for 2nd for most career wins in franchise history, with Andre Simpson, Preston Olson only trail Tyler Vale by 2 wins. Otters franchise history, the 1-1 fouled straight back, 1-2 to Zuberer. Richardson at first, nobody out, top 7. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors for Evansville, no runs on 4 hits, 1 error for Florence. Yoni De La Cruz, the Otters' all-star lefty reliever, has just gotten up and started to throw in the Evansville pen. The 1-2 on the inside corner, strike 3 called. Zuberer strikes out looking, another K for Holdgrafer. It's strikeout number 5 tonight.
You know, a lot of times pitchers get very comfortable with certain guys behind the plate. All season long he's been comfortable with Dakota Phillips. Today he's had Justin Felix, and he's pitched very well, which he hasn't done yet with Felix behind the plate. He's thrown 9 2/3 innings, given up 9 runs on 11 hits.
First pitch to the lefty, Tristan Garcia, hacked and missed, 0-1.
And that's just over 2 games, 2 starts, an 8.39 ERA with Felix behind the plate. Certainly a different tale this evening.
Click tonight between pitcher and catcher. 0-1 to Garcia, popped up off the end of the bat, falling in right and down for a base hit. Oh, Garcia, who made it right now the game-costing error, has to find a way to get on base, and that he does off the end of the bat, sailing over the head of Skinder. A blue pit into right, and there's 2 aboard for Florence with 1 out in the top of the 7th as they trail 2-0. It's about as unlucky as it gets, Michael.
Yeah, 2 bloop singles. Well, one was a hard hit single. It did come in, but second one a bloop single.
Ball was way under the zone. It was almost off the dirt. Now it's the shortstop, Randy Jeremiah Burks, 0 for 2 today. Holdgrafer looking back at a dancing Richardson at second, and time is called by Burks at the plate. Shortstop in a big spot, hitting .246 on the season. Went 0 for 3 last night. Pitch home from Holdgrafer. A cutter misses outside, 1-0. Past 10:30 local time in a game that was delayed 2 hours and 8 minutes due to soggy field conditions. Otters' magic number to make the Frontier League playoffs remains at 3 as Washington won tonight. A win tonight and the Otters have the chance to clinch tomorrow evening. 1-0. Cutter on the inside corner for a strike. 1-1. Richardson at second, Garcia at first with 1 out in the top of the 7th. Otters 2, Y'alls nothing. Evansville took the series opener last night 8-4. 1-1 home. Popped up by Burks into right center field. Myers racing back, circling under the baseball, makes the catch. Richardson will tag to third. The throw comes into second as Garcia holds it first. Runners on the corners, but now 2 away in the 7th.
That's a smart play, too, by the center fielder, Noah Myers. He knows he's not going to be able to beat the speed of Zade Richardson, so just get the ball back in. Make sure you keep the runner at first base so that there's not 2 runners in scoring position.
Otters pitching coach Max Peterson jaunting out to the mound to chat with Holdgrafer. 96 pitches tonight for Tim. His season high 102 a couple outings ago, and that, wonder if that was almost just a word of, how do you feel? Are you good? And if you're a competitor, you want to stay in this game and try to finish the 7th. It's a quick meeting with Max Peterson walking back to the dugout. It's interesting, Leone De La Cruz, a lefty reliever, is warming in the bullpen. This is a lefty hitter in Hank Zeisler. I think Holdgrafer has earned the right in his 3rd year in Evansville. If he wants to remain on the bump, he's going to stay on the bump. Lefty Zeisler 0 for 2 today. Pitch home on the outside corner, a strike. 80-mile-per-hour cutter on the outer third. Zeisler 1 for 5 on this series. He had a double in the 9th inning last night. 0-1 home. Chopped off the end of the bat. Foul right side.
Now you're in the driver's seat if you're Holdgrafer. You have all the cards in your hand. You can kind of go at him with the kitchen sink. You're up 0-2 in the count. You're up 2-0 in the game. Why not give him something he maybe hasn't seen before?
Tim looks down at the ball, sets on the rubber, working out of the stretch. Sets at the chest. Kicks and fires. Fastball just missed outside. 91, 1-2. There is that fastball that Zeisler hadn't seen yet in the at-bat. Garcia, the tying run at first. Richardson at third would cut the lead in half. Kick and a fire. Inside, and it hits Zeisler. He did check his swing, but Zeisler held up on the appeal down to third. A cutter hit him on the knee, and it's loaded the bases.
So here's where the importance of umpire position comes into play, because the third base umpire, normally at third, Mike O'Leary, the crew chief, was standing by second base. I wonder if he was at third base and they appealed for the check swing, if he would have had an easier time deciphering whether or not the bat went across.
Back to the top of the order in the lefty lane, Hoover. Bases loaded, 2 outs, top 7, 2-0 Otters lead. Hoover's 0 for 3. Holdgrafer home. Hoover shows bunt and fouls it away. The safety squeeze on for Florence. Interesting. I don't think you try it again, though, now.
Yeah, well, if he does get it down the third base line, Reyes is not playing on the grass. He's still playing back by third base. And Hoover's got some speed.
Reyes aligned with the bag. Quiggle a couple steps in front of it at first. 0-1 to Hoover. Inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Rookie Hoover out of ECU in the leadoff spot with 2 ground outs and a fly out tonight. Tying run at second, go-ahead run at first for Florence in the top of the 7th. 2-0 Otters. 1-1 from Holdgrafer. Chopped up the middle, over the glove of Holdgrafer, charging in Skinner, gloves it, steps on the second base bag for the force out to retire the side. 2 base hits and a hit batter loaded the bases in the 7th, but the ground out up the middle completes 7 shutout innings on another brilliant night of pitching for Tim Holdgrafer. We'll stretch on this late night at Bosse Field. It's the Otters 2, the Y'alls nothing on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
Hey to everybody. If we announce the winner who was not present and able to claim a prize tag, unclaimed raffle prize winners will be notified via email where they can claim those prizes. So good news there. Thanks to EBSC Foundation and our friends at Schnucks.
A late night Saturday stretch at Bosse Field. The last one in the evening this season here in Evansville. It's a 2-0 lead for the Otters over the Y'alls. Griffin Epstein alongside Michael Gross. Even we had to get a stretch in. We've done a lot of sitting after a 2-hour delay, but we've watched a fun one tonight. Tim Holdgrafer and Carter Spivey in a pitcher's duel. It's now up to the bullpens. Holdgrafer completing 7 shutout innings, escaping the bases-loaded jam that Carter Spivey and Florence could not in the 6th. An error by the second baseman Tristan Garcia off the bat. Rosario scored 2 runs, and those are the only 2 runs of the ball game for a 2-0 Otter lead. George Khalil will lead off for the Otters. He's led Evansville's offense today. He's 2 for 2 with 2 singles. Aaron Rund will remain on the bump for Florence. He got the inning-ending strikeout to finish the inning in relief of Spivey in the 6th. First pitch home to Khalil, a breaking ball at the knees for strike 1. Everyone in the Otters bullpen's just standing up now, peering in on the action, nobody throwing. Rund on the right side of the rubber, out of the windup and home. A breaking ball misses outside, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Did you have the line on Spivey? I can read it here. 5 2/3, 3 hits, 2 runs, no earned, 3 walks, and 8 strikeouts for the righty.
Khalil chops one left side, racing in is Burks to field it. The shortstop drops it. Khalil is safe at first, and he's 6. Another infield error for Burks. That was just a glove-to-hand transfer drop.
You know, sometimes when you're coming off a frustrating inning on both ends where you give up 2 runs that you probably shouldn't have, and you don't score any runs when you probably should have.
That's about as frustrating as it gets. Well put.
You can make those mental mistakes when it comes down to easy plays.
Doesn't help. It's almost 11 o'clock at night, too. Noah Myers shows bunt and pulls it back. Gets a strike.
Might be past Jeremiah Burks' bedtime. But the young kid in the yellow shirt's still here. He's sitting down now and very attentive to the game.
I told you that the sugar gives you the rush and then it locks you in on the ball game. I did that with ice cream last night and it worked perfectly. 0-1 to Myers. Khalil a 3-strand lead at first. Pitch home, cut on and missed. 0-2. I was feeling tired. I was down. I talked about it on the broadcast last night. I got some great ice cream here at Bosse Field from Graders, I believe is the name of the ice cream that's served here. Got some salted caramel. Gave me a big sugar rush, and I was focused and dialed in by game time.
Is that your go-to, the salted caramel?
The 0-2 misses outside 1-2. No, I've tried a few different ones. It was first time with the salted caramel. I guess you say caramel.
Oh, yeah, it's the East Coast, West Coast difference there.
I guess so. We'll agree to disagree on that. I don't feel that passionately about the pronunciation of caramel. 1-2. Fouled away left side. They've got a peanut butter cup in there. There's a bunch of different flavors. Honestly, yeah. I wish I've tried more, but I got to watch the weight, you know, so can't have too much ice cream.
You could be a cross-country star, skinny.
I actually, well, I wasn't a star. The 1-2 to Myers outside 2-2, but I did run cross-country in high school. I definitely was not a star.
Myself as well.
Okay.
Track and field as well.
I did make the varsity team senior year.
Yes.
Didn't the first 3 seasons. Maybe too much ice cream. 2-2 to Noah Myers outside in a full count. Tell you, Noah Myers has certainly made every varsity team he's been on. He's looking for his first hit today, and he's got an 8-game hit streak on the line. Has been lighting it up in the month of August. .392 batting average in August with a on-base percentage over 500 in the month. Payoff home, outside, ball 4. Khalil took off. Doesn't matter. Myers is aboard with the walk.
That's a deer head, sidewalk, cafe and bar.
Khalil at second, Myers at first. The first 2 runners aboard for the Otters. The Y'alls have officially entered the danger zone as Ethan Skinder comes to the plate. Ethan 0 for 3 today, righty second baseman. The Otters don't have a hit in the last 2 innings. They didn't have a hit in the 6th. It was 2 walks, a hit by batter, and an error scoring the 2 runs. And they've had an error and a walk to put 2 on here in the 7th. Run, turns back to second, comes home. Skinder shows bunt, pulls it back, misses low, 1-0.
It'd be uncharacteristic of, excuse me, Skender to not get a hit in this game. 10 hits in his last 6 games. He's been as hot as anyone. But a bunt here would still suffice to move the runners over with nobody out.
Hitting .455 in his last 6 plays, shows bunt, and it goes foul down the third base lap. Ball was up near his eyes. Tough one to keep the bat still. 1-1.
And you don't have much time to pull it back at that point, too. You're committed. You want to try and drop that bunt down, especially if it's up and in. You might
it can be
able to-
called part protection at
Yeah.
that point. 90-mile-per-hour fastball up in the zone. So 1-1 to Skender, 2 on, nobody out, bottom 7. Otters in front 2-0 in the middle game of this series. Run home, Skender shows bunt again, lays it down the third base line, hits the lip of the grass and goes foul. It's so hard on a natural surface to keep a ball fair. If it just has a little bit of spin, it'll fall off the lip of the grass down the line and quickly go foul.
And you never know what kind of bumps and turns it could take, especially with the damp soil here.
Now it might hit a snail on the ground
Yeah.
and kick to the left.
A slug, something.
So 1-2 to Skender, and likely swinging away now. It's Aaron's runs game. Florence's bullpen is quiet. Brown glove for run. Sets just above the bell, rocking back and forth. Peeks back at second, kicks, and fires. Chopped up the middle, a high chopper glove by Garcia. He throws to first, and now Myers is caught in a rundown. They're going to toss to Burks, who will tag out Myers. 2 outs, and Khalil's at third. What a weird play, and the Y'alls somehow, someway turn the double play. Khalil at third with 2 outs.
Designated hitter, number 7, Dakota.
I'm trying to count it now. I believe it went 4, 3,
I don't
6.
envy our score there.
I believe it went 4, 3, 6 for the double play.
Skender grounded it to Massey, and Myers just kind of got caught in between as Massey stepped on the bag, and Myers hesitated for a moment to try to avoid being tagged, and then just got caught in the rundown. So now it's Dakota Phillips. Lefty takes the first pitch low. 1-0 with Khalil at third. That was on it. I haven't seen a double play maybe that weird all year. It's just you don't see the runner stop, but Myers was trying to avoid being tagged and then thought maybe he could make it to second if the Y'alls tried to get the out at first, but that wasn't the case. 1-0 to Phillips. Fastball on the outside corner, 1-1. Leone De La Cruz looks ready to go. The lefty in the Otters bullpen. Likely be the setup man today with Kevin Davis. A busy night last night, and then Jake Polancic in the 9th. Imagine how Max Peterson has it drawn up. 1-1. Swing and a miss. Breaking ball falls out of the zone.
There's a chance to maybe put another insurance run on the board.
Run size the shoulders and delivers. Grounded right side and foul. Nearing 11 o'clock local time tonight. Game was delayed just over 2 hours. Started at 8:43 Central Time due to wet field conditions after almost an inch of rain last night, unsuspectingly on everyone really here in the River City. And the tarp was not on the field. 1-2 home. Chopped right side and a foul ball. Just skipped to the right of the first base bag at the last moment. If not, Massey would have had the easy out at first.
That was close because it looked like from our angle, now we don't have the best angle, but it looked like it may have hopped over the bag, which would classify that as a fair ball if it hops over the bag.
James Purnell had a good angle behind the bag at first. The couch in the umpire's room is really good for taking naps too, and I hope either Mike O'Leary, Drew Taylor, or James Purnell got a nap in before the game.
Have you sat on that couch?
I have not, but I'll tell you, I won't name who it was, but someone took like a 3-hour nap on that couch today. 1-2, outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. It was such a good nap. I came in and out multiple times and didn't even wake them up. I've heard rave reviews. I'm just not a good napper.
Is it the same types of good reviews as the chairs right
As
here?
the Ashley home furniture
chairs?
best seats in the house.
Oh, yeah.
I'd say it's pretty similar.
Okay.
2-2. Breaking ball at the knees, strike 3 called. Phillips puts his hands up in the air in disbelief. Strikes out looking, run works out of the jam. Otters had 2 on with nobody out, but a double play and a strikeout looking. Evansville strands 1 on no hits in the 7th. We move to the 8th inning. Otters 2, Y'alls nothing on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
Might have been our best sumo of the year.
To the 8th on a late Saturday night from Bosse Field, the final Saturday night of the regular season. Here in the River City, the Otters going to the bullpen. The lefty all-star reliever Leone De La Cruz into the game for Evansville. Otters holding on to a 2-0 lead. It was just 2 runs for the Otters in the bottom of the 6th inning on 2 walks, a hit by pitch, and an error. Florence loaded the bases in the 7th, but couldn't bring home a run. 7 shutout innings for Tim Oldgraver tonight. Now up to the Otters bullpen. 2.97 ERA for De La Cruz, 39 and a third innings pitched. He's allowed just 13 earned runs this year on 58 strikeouts. First pitch to Brian Fuentes is fouled off right side. Lefty fastball slider changeup with, when working, a devastating slider. He has given up runs in his last 2 outings. Allowed 2 hits and 2 runs against Joliet here in the homestand, and allowed a run, ended up being the go-ahead runs. His pitch misses low, 1-1. Bases clearing go-ahead double he gave up on Sunday at Washington, though the Otters would come back to win the game. 1-1 from the southpaw. Slider on the inside corner, 1-2. De La Cruz sidesteps and delivers. Outside on a slider, 2-2. Final stat line for Tim Oldgraver tonight: 7 innings pitched, 5 hits, no runs, 5 strikeouts, 1 walk. Did not allow an extra base hit tonight. That's his 2nd straight outing not allowing an extra base hit. 2-2. Inside and a full count. Just a blast watching Carter Spivey and Tim Oldgraver face off tonight. 2 great pitchers with different stages in their careers, certainly. Spivey a rookie and Oldgraver 3rd year in the Frontier League, but both with bright futures ahead of them.
And similar stuff, too. Neither one of them really an overpowering pitcher. They like to use all quadrants of the zone, try and make hitters guess at what's coming next.
Payoff home, chopped off the screen. Fuentes keeps the at-bat alive. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors for the Otters. No runs on 5 hits, 2 errors for the Y'alls. 6th pitch of the at-bat coming. De La Cruz home, high, ball 4. A leadoff walk to Brian Fuentes in the 8th. And the Otters, I thought he wouldn't be used tonight, but Kevin Davis, Evansville's primary setup man, who was busy last night, 32 pitches in an inning and 2/3, is starting to toss in the Otter bullpen. De La Cruz will face the lefty designated hitter, Big Brennan Price, 0 for 2 today with a walk. Fuentes at first with some speed, 9 stolen bases. First pitch home off the glove of Felix and goes back to the backstop. De La Cruz squatting down on the mound. Just in some frustration, and Felix will walk out to chat with De La Cruz. Justin's fluent in Spanish, which is De La Cruz's native tongue, from the Dominican Republic. Imagine speaking in Spanish here. Might be a little bit more reassuring to Leone. Fuentes at second and a 1-0 count to Price.
I bet Drew Taylor went out there. I'm not sure how much Spanish he knows, but probably enough to say, all right, let's get back to the plate, and that's about it. De La Cruz just has to settle in here. Don't worry about the runner on second. Just take it one at a time at the plate.
He's got a 2-0 lead as the Price fouls one away left side, 1-1.
This is not a guy at the plate that you can hang one to, though. You have to be careful. A lot of times, the lefty on lefty, when a breaking ball sweeps in, if you get a hold of it with the lefty on lefty matchup, you can hit it a country mile.
Saw 3 home runs last night between these two. Nothing tonight. 1-1. Swing and a miss. My goodness. Price tried to hit that one to Kentucky. It was way up in the zone. A 91-mile-per-hour fastball from De La Cruz. Tried to hit that 2 country miles. Leone peeking over the glove. Sets at the chest, working on the third base side of the rubber. Pitch home. Popped up left side, now to play. 20 home runs on the season for Brennan Price. Third most in the Frontier League West. From near your old stomping ground, Middlesex, New Jersey.
Not too far. But I think the thing that's impressed me the most is his on-base percentage. .440.
He's a really patient batter. 1-2. Leone home. Chopped into right field. Racing in is Rosario. Will play it on a hop. Garcia will hold it third as Rosie throws it in. Quiggle cuts it off around the mound. A base hit for Brennan Price. He took something off that swing. Runners on the corners with nobody out. Brings up Craig Massey. Another lefty for De La Cruz to face. Kevin Davis, the righty, still working in the Otters bullpen. Richardson after Massey as a righty, but then there's 2 lefties to follow. Still nobody out, and De La Cruz just hasn't looked like his best self his last couple outings. Looking for the first out here in the 8th. Otters lead 2-0. A slider in for a strike on the first pitch to Massey, a front door slider. Fuentes at third, Price the tying run at first in the top of the 8th. Otters have just 3 hits tonight, but they've done enough for a 2-0 lead. 0-1. A slider on the outside corner for a strike, 0-2 to a distraught-looking Massey.
By the way, the pitch before in the Price at-bat ruled as a passed ball, not a wild pitch.
Massey chokes up on the bat. And the 0-2. Outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Could potentially prove costly, too, the pass ball. That's when defensively Dakota Phillips ranks just a bit above, Justin Felix behind the plate.
Hit off the top of Felix's glove and went back to the backstop. Massey will call time. He's not happy with something. Shaking his head and putting his arms up in the air and smiling nonetheless. So he reties his gloves. Taps the bat, steps back into the batter's box, taps the plate once and twice, and waggles the bat above his left shoulder. De La Cruz on the rubber, fires home. Massey slaps it foul, left side, now to play. It's almost a slapping-like swing at times from Craig Massey, more reminiscent of softball. Choking up on the bat and almost coming half out of the batter's box as he swings.
The Ichiro Suzuki swing as well.
Another 1-2 home. Outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. It was well outside. Fans at this point past 11 o'clock at night probably seeing a little bit with their hearts and maybe a little bit with some liquor. 2-2 home. Popped up left side. Reyes, the third baseman, will reach over in foul territory at the warning track at the fence. Runs out of room. It's off the roof.
That's one of those where the deep foul territories right along line of the third and first base bags do help out the fielders.
Most expansive foul territory in the Frontier League by a bajillion kilometers. A unique surface and structure of the third oldest professional ballpark in the nation. Another 2-2 count to Massey. Long battle here. De La Cruz home. High for a full count.
And this is where that veteran experience, 34 years old for Massey, this is where that comes into play. You're able to take pitches. You're disciplined enough to watch the ball out of the zone.
De La Cruz at the belt. The payoff pitch. Fouled off the inside of the bat and off the screen. Massey fighting one off the hands. Fuentes at third. Price at first. Nobody out. Top 8. Otters holding on to a 2-0 lead. A win tonight, and they give themselves a chance to clinch tomorrow at home. Clinching the final spot in the Frontier League West playoffs with a week left to play. Another payoff home. Chop third base side, fair ball, backhanded by Reyes. He hesitates and now throws to first. Quigg a long stretch to reel the ball in for the first out. Fuentes scores from third. The lead's cut in half. There's one out, and Price is the only runner on. Now it's second. Reyes looked at home for a second, but Fuentes going on the crack of the bat, easily scoring the first run of the game for Florence. And with a righty coming up, that's going to do it for De La Cruz. Max Peterson will call for the righty. Kevin Davis coming in for the bullpen. We'll keep it here. Price at second with one out. And Zade Richardson, who's 2 for 3 today, coming to the plate. And the Otters will bring in probably their hottest pitcher in the month of August, and the big 6'9" righty, Kevin Davis.
38 appearances on the year for the second-year Otter. 136 batting average. That's first on the team and fourth in the league. 14 Ks per 9, just a bit better than De La Cruz, who was at 13.3. And 71 strikeouts. Both of those marks are first in the league among pitchers without any starts. So he has yet to allow a run in August, and that's an earned run.
And earned yet to allow any run in the month of August, and 12 appearances and 14 innings pitched. He's been as dominant as can be. Last night, an inning in 2/3. He did walk and allow a hit, but 3 strikeouts and 32 innings pitched ended up earning the win. A lot of work, though, last night, but in a close game, you want to go with your hottest pitcher, and the Otters will bring in Davis here. The tying run, Brennan Price at second with one out. Zade Richardson has had a great night, 2 for 3, coming to the plate. And this Otters pitching change is brought to you by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs at the Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road, or call at 812-475-9000. Second pitching change for the Otters. De La Cruz started the 8th inning, got an out, but allowed a run, and now it's Kevin Davis. Richardson, the only Y'all with 2 hits today. Catcher hitting just a tick below 300. Price at second would tie the ball game. It's a 2-1 Otters lead, top of the 8th. Florence trying to even up this series, force a rubber match tomorrow. The Otters trying to clinch the series and have the chance to clinch a playoff spot tomorrow. First pitch home, a check swing foul off the end of the bat. 0-1 to Richardson. Rookie catcher hit a 3-run home run in his very first at-bat here at Bosse Field back in August. After a quiet night last night, 0 for 3. He's 2 for 3 tonight. Page brown glove for Davis. Sets at the chest, kicks and fires. Grounded up the middle. Diving is Khalil. He's gloved it, holds it, and throws to third. Price is there safely. Still one out as Richardson safe at first, but George Khalil's dive saves the run, keeping the ball on the infield.
Center fielder, 5, Ray Zuberer.
Almost shielded the ball, too. I wasn't sure if Khalil had it at first, maybe trying to fool Price, who held up at third base.
Well, that's what happens when you're playing at a depth as they were. They were back, both the middle infielders, near that outfield grass. And in a situation like this now, you might want them to come in a bit. You still have to play a double play depth.
Ray Zuber, the lefty, stands in. A first pitch sails low for a ball. 3 at day for Richardson. He's the go-ahead run at first. Tying run, Brennan Price at third. Otters lead 2-1 with 1 out in the top of the 8th. The Owensboro native, Ray Zuber, 1 for 3. Base hit back of the 5th. Lefty batter. Ready pitcher Davis readies and fires. Fastball on the inside corner for his strike at 92 miles per hour. Past 11 o'clock tonight, the final Saturday night of the season at Bosse. 1-1 home. Chopped foul left side. 1-2 to Zuber. Tristan Garcia, ready second baseman, is on deck.
It's got to be difficult for these Y'alls hitters to adjust. Holdgrafer was up near 90. Kevin Davis certainly above that 92 mark. Not easy to adjust to.
1-2 home. Fouled off the screen. It's now the latest that the Otters have played baseball in any game this season. They played shortly past 11 o'clock in a game at Lake Erie that was delayed an hour. Final night game of the season here at Bosse, and it's the latest one. Game 49 of the home season. The 1-2, lined into right, taking Rosario back. He makes the catch. Throw coming into the infield. Price will score standing up. We're tied at 2. Zuber delivers with a hard hit ball to right. No chance to catch Price on a ball that took Rosario back. Tie ball game.
Just nothing you could do about that if you're the Otters. It's a hard hit ball. It's tattooed out to right field. Luckily, Brian Rosario was in the right position, took a step in at first, but then moved back.
Now it's Tristan Garcia who takes the first pitch high for a ball. Lefty is 1 for 3 today. Richardson still at first with 2 outs. Florence has scratched 2 across in the 8th to tie the ball game. One 0 home. Swing and a miss. Seven hits tonight for the Y'alls. Plated their first 2 runs here in the 8th inning, matching the Otters' 2 runs in the 6th. 1-1. Slap foul left side, 1-2. No one going in the Y'alls bullpen. Looks like it's Aaron Run's game, the only arm we've seen out of the Y'alls pen tonight. Davis peeking over his shoulder at first. Just a 2-stride lead there for Richardson. Pitch home. Slap foul again left side. Still a good number of fans here at Bosse Field on this late Saturday night. Got to soak in the last seconds of the summer. 1-2 home. Popped up by Garcia into left. Gary Manis drifting over a few steps from the line, makes the grab to retire the side. The Florence Y'alls with some late night life in the 8th. A walk, a base hit, put 2 on for the Y'alls with nobody out. They score a run on a ground out and on a fly out. We're tied at 2, bottom of the 8th coming up next. It's a late night drama-filled ball game on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
Benjamin Bosse, FJ Wrights, and William Henry Harrison. If your legend wins a race, you win Otters tickets. Legends, are you ready? On your mark, get set, go!
No injuries allowed.
Congratulations to FJ
Bryce took a little tumble there. Hope he's okay. Harrison DeNicola is now in the game. He's at first base for those of you scoring.
Bottom of the 8th inning from Bosse Field. Tied at 2 between the Y'alls and the Otters. Griffin, Epstein, Michael Gross hanging out with you on a late Saturday night with a couple thousand or so of our friends. 3 Otters legends as well duking it out in the penultimate A's of Legends pizza race of the season. William Henry Harrison face planted and FJ Wright's stuck by Benjamin Bosse for Wright's 16th win of the season, but his first, or make it his second, win of this homestand. Aaron Run will remain on the bump for Florence. He's worked an inning and a third now for the Y'alls. Had an error and a walk start off the 7th, but a double play helped him out and finished with a strikeout, yet to allow a hit in an inning and a third with 1 walk. Yomar Reyes will lead off for the Otters in the bottom of the 8th inning. Reyes is 1 for 3 today. Base hit in the first. He shows bunt, pulls it back, and takes all the way for a strike.
Defensive change for the Y'alls. Harrison DeNicola in for Craig Massey at first base. The Kemah, Texas native.
0-1 home. Hacked and missed. A breaking ball out of the zone. And a rather half-hearted swing by Reyes. 0-2. He's gesturing at himself. The universal sign to calm down, pointing his hand to the ground. Run sides the shoulders in the 0-2. Chopped up the middle, racing over his Bergs. Full sprawl extension under his glove and into center field. Leadoff base hit for Reyes. The calming down works, and he lasers a base hit up the middle. 2-hit night for the Dominican third baseman. Tying the go-ahead run, make it a board for the Otters. It brings up Kona Quiggle 0 for 2 today with a walk. Baseman Fuentes is shaded over to his right and in. The first pitch to Quiggle misses outside 1-0.
No movement yet down the left field line. This is Run's, what, 3rd inning that he's been in.
1-0 to Quiggle. Popped up left side out of play, 1-1. Jake Polancic, the Otters closer, is starting to toss in the Evansville bullpen. Otters hoping for a run here in the 8th and to make it a save opportunity for Polancic to close the game in the 9th. This late night at Bosse Field. One from Run. A looping breaking ball misses outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Give you a quick scoreboard recap today across the Frontier League, brought to you by WJPS 107.1. Gateway beat Schaumburg 7-6 in a matchup of the top 2 teams in the Frontier League West. Grizzlies lead atop the West, back up to 3 games. Series decider tomorrow. The 2-1 misses outside, 3 balls and 1 strike. Windy City shuts out Joliet 2-0. The Slammers fall behind Washington in the 4th spot in the West. Their playoff hopes not officially eliminated, but pretty much dead. Washington takes down Lake Erie 6-5 in 10 innings. Means the Otters need a Washington loss tomorrow and the Otters to win the next 2 to clinch. The 3-1 outside, ball 4. A walk to Quiggle, and just like that, the Otters have 2 on with nobody out in the 8th. The go-ahead run in scoring position, and the pitching coach for Florence, Carlo Craigie, coming out to chat with Run. Gary Mattis is coming to the plate for the Otters.
Right now, you're not saying much to him other than, take it 1 pitch at a time. Forget 1 batter at a time. Take it 1 pitch at a time. And if you're Run, you're used to going a distance in a relief appearance. 18 of his 21 relief appearances last year were 2+ innings or more.
Yeah, every appearance with the Y'alls since signing has been at least 2, with a season high of 3. He's at just an inning and a third, 34 pitches here in the 8th. Andy McCauley had his arm around the shoulder of Gary Mattis, giving him some words of wisdom. The left fielder's 0 for 2. He was hit by a pitch back in the 6th. Still looking for his first hit of the series. Reyes, the go-ahead run at second. Quiggle at first. Nobody out. Bottom 8, 2-2 ball game. Corner infielders are in as Mattis shows bunt. Run steps off and looks back. Reyes to second. Both DeNicola at first and Fuentes at third, just standing on the grass. DeNicola about 4 strides in on the grass at first, and Fuentes a few at third. Middle infield, shaded up the middle. Pitch home. Mattis shows bunt, pulls it back, misses low, 1-0. Florence is certainly ready for a bunt attempt if Mattis does lay it down.
This would be a good time to maybe show bunt and then slap it the other way.
Again, both corner infielders creeping in on the grass as Mattis shows bunt. Run home. Mattis does pull it back, slaps it third base side. Broken bat, underhand toss to third. Burks tags out Reyes for the first out. How about that? Broken bat, flare. Mattis tried the slapper, but the bat did not cooperate. And it just rolled perfectly to Fuentes. Burks was shifted over to the left side of the infield as Fuentes came in and easily came over to third to get the forced out at third, 1 out.
I think regardless if it was Reyes or if it was anyone else, I don't think they'd be getting there with speed, without speed. A fortunate hop, though, for the third baseman, Fuentes.
Quiggle at second, Mattis at first. The switch hitter, Brian Rosario, to the plate, batting lefty. Run home. Rosario swings and chops at third base side. Fuentes gloves it, tosses to second for 1. To first, under the glove of DeNicola, back to the backstop. Quiggle scores. Otters lead. A tailor-made double play ball seemingly ending the inning, but the throw from Burke skipped under the glove of DeNicola, and Quiggle walked home to score. The Otters lead 3-2.
I mean, there's not much to say about that than Tristan Garcia's having a rough night in the field. If they do give the error, which they did, it should be a throwing error, and that would be the second error out of the hands of Tristan Garcia, which would have brought home not one, but not two, but all 3 Evansville Otters runs.
Brian Rosario's going to steal third. Felix swings away and fouls it back. Rosario was going to have third by a mile. Instead, he'll have to head back to second. So Rosario is at second as he went to second on the ball getting by. It is indeed a throwing error on Garcia, who tried to turn the double play and went all the way back to the wall down the first base side. Quiggle scoring the go-ahead run from second as the Y'alls couldn't complete the double play. 0-1 to Felix. Breaking ball on the outside corner for a strike, 0-2. 3-2 Otters lead. Evansville's closer, Jake Polancic, is readying in the bullpen. 8-9-1 is coming up for Florence in the 9th. Burke, Seisler, and Hoover. Round at the belt, peeks back at second. The 0-2. Check swing, ball in the dirt. Felix held up, 1-2. It's the 40th pitch of the night for earned run. The Otters have not scored an earned run tonight. Michael said it, all 3 runs coming across for the Otters on errors by the second baseman, Tristan Garcia. 1-2. Outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. That was a low throw, and I think with the wet turf too, or the wet dirt, I should say, the ball not skipping as high as normal. I might have thrown DeNicola, who just entered at first base, a little bit off.
The game seems to find you once you enter.
2-2, shot foul. Felix stays alive.
That's kind of been the old adage, as you could say. You know, once you enter the game as a fielder, it finds you. The ball finds you. You have to be on your toes the second you enter.
2 in the 6th, the go-ahead run here in the 8th for Evansville. 2-2 again, high for a full count.
Had some heat on it too, 91. Run really digging deep. Has to get the Y'alls out of this inning if they want
Well,
a fighting chance.
the series finale of this game starts in 13 hours. Payoff home. Outside, ball 4. Long, impressive walk worked by Justin Felix. 7 pitches to reach first. It's runs, second walk. Rosario at second, Felix at first, and George Khalil, who's had a ball game tonight, 2 for 3, and reached on an error back in the 7th as well. Strides to the right-handed batter's box.
At the moment, runs kind of on an island. They're just now sending somebody to warm up. Looks like another righty, but he's kind of alone.
Rosario dancing over at second base. He'll take off, double steal, pitch outside, and both runners will move bases without a throw. Pitch was way outside, and Richardson had to work to just keep it back to the backstop. At his stolen base number 46 for Brian Rosario. He's now 4 away from tying an Otters single-season record. So 2 in scoring position. Rosario at third, Felix at second. 1-0 count to Khalil. Run home. Khalil chops it to the left of the third base bag. It's a foul ball. Yeah, this is hard work for Aaron Rund. And point in game 2 starts in 13 hours. I mean, you have a short-handed bullpen, you're Florence, and you're barely going back to the hotel to get a nap before you're coming back here to play the series finale. 1-1. Broken bat flare up the middle, could be tough. Garcia coming in, barehanded throw to first, takes DeNicola off the bag. Khalil safe, coming in to score is Rosario. Otters extend the lead, it's 4-2.
Just a tough play once again to pull DeNicola off of his line. And once again, off the hands of Tristan Garcia. We're not trying to make him a bad guy here. It's just the unlucky plays continue to find him at the second base hole.
There's no way that's an error, I don't think, on the broken bat flare. And Garcia did everything he could. Just unlucky for Florence. Another run across. Felix at third, Khalil at first. Back to the top of the order, and Noah Myers. Run home. Myers swings and misses. Noah's 0 for 3 today with a walk. 2 have come across in the 8th for the Otters. They have just 1 ball that's left the infield. It was the leadoff base hit by Reyes. Since then, a walk, an error, a walk, and the broken bat flare infield hit for Khalil. 0-1 from Rund. Taken for a strike. No balls and 2 strikes. 4 runs on just 5 hits tonight for the Otters. A win, and they move their magic number down to 2 to make the Frontier League playoffs. 0-2 to Myers. Swing and a miss. That retires the side in the 8th, but the Otters take the lead. They use 2 hits, a walk, helped by an error that scored the go-ahead run, and 2 walks as well for a 4-2 lead. The Otters closer, Jake Polancic, coming to the game to try to earn the victory. You're listening to Otters Baseball on the Otters Digital Network and watching on Flow Sports.
Evansville called the bullpen. Jake Polancic in the pitch. Polancic is on the mound. Felix behind the plate. The answer on repair east 2319 North River Road 812-475-9000. Tell them Zane from the Otters to you.
Top 9 from Bosse. Hey, folks, we finally made it. It's 11:30 at night. Michael, we're so close, but we've had a blast of a ball game tonight. Jake Polancic's going to try to get the Otters to the finish line. Evansville's closer has 16 saves on the season, tied for the most in the Frontier League, 16 of 18 in saved opportunities, 1.80 ERA in 30 innings pitched. He's allowed just 6 earned runs this year, 43 strikeouts to 16 walks. He'll face 8-9-1 in the Florence lineup. The shortstop Jeremiah Burks leads off for Florence. Zeisler and Hoover to follow. Righty batting Burks is 0 for 3. Polancic sets and fires home. Burks pops it up in shallow center. Ethan Skinder, the second baseman, drifting back under the baseball, reaches up and makes the two-handed grab. 1 pitch, 1 out for Polancic.
It's about as efficient as you can make it with the first batter of the inning. When you have a speedy Jeremiah Burks as well, you don't want him to find the base paths.
Now bring up Hank Zeisler. Polancic last night needed just 14 pitches to close out the ball game in the 9th, 2 strikeouts, but he did allow 1 hit, and it was a double off the center field wall to Hank Zeisler. Lefty batter is 0 for 2 today, hit by a pitch in the 7th. Polancic home, a fastball right down Broadway, 0-1. Two outs away, the Otters from taking the series, win number 49 on the year. 0-1 inside, 1-1. A win also clinches a winning season for the Otters. Moves them just 2 in magic number terms. 1 win and a Washington loss away from the playoffs. The 1-1 foul tipped off the end of the bat and off Felix. 1-2. Andy McCauley and Dr. Mandy Flagg wanting to make sure that Justin Felix is okay as the ball hit off the catcher's mask. Dr. Mandy conducting some quick face checks, exercises. Always worried about head injuries. Dr. Mandy back to the dugout. Felix all right.
Sometimes when you get hit like that behind the plate, you really just need to take a second, and that's thankfully what home plate umpire Drew Taylor has given Justin Felix as well. Waits to clean off the plate before he even gets back. It can wake you up at 11:33 on a Saturday night.
1-2 to Zeisler. Chop foul left side, and he spoils the 1-2. So plenty of fans have stuck around. They want to watch the Otters march one step closer to the playoffs, the final regular season night game of the season here at historic Bosse Field. 1-2 home. Outside, 2-2. 94 from Polancic. Canadian closer with the save. Moving to first. Most saves in the Frontier League past Frank Mascatiello of Quebec. At the belt, the 2-2. Chopped foul again.
Good at bat from Zeisler. Staying alive any chance he can get. He knows that the Y'alls are in desperate need of base runners. Forget runs, you start with base runners, and that's how you can move the game along. But I continue to go back to that 7th inning, the frustrating 7th inning where they left 3 on base.
2-2 inside, and a full count to Zeisler. Putting a runner on brings the tying run to the plate. A 4-2 Otters lead in the top of the 9th. Payoff home. Popped up out of play. Indeed, what an at bat. It's 8 pitches long now. The rookie Zeisler from Kentfield, California in the San Francisco Bay Area.
And that's your territory.
It is. Not too far away from my hometown. IU played at the D3 level with Claremont McKenna, moved up to UNLV, and finished his career at the University of Missouri. Hitting .217 in his young pro career. Payoff home again. Popped up out of play. What a battle in the 9th.
That overhead foul ball is brought to you by Hetz Construction.
What I can compare him to,
Choose the best.
the way that I grew up, watching Brett Gardner in his at-bats. He was probably the best that I've seen in the last 20, 25 years of fighting off pitches and staying alive in at-bats.
Yankees fans really love that guy. The payoff home is grounded right side pass, Skinner into right. My, oh my, Hank Zeisler 10 pitches deep before he lines one through the 4-3 hole. And back to the top of the order now for Florence with the tying run coming to the plate. That was the best at bat I would say we've seen all night.
Who's your lottery strikeout batter of the game? And left
It's about staying alive. You want to try and keep the at-bat alive, keep the inning alive, and just get on base. You didn't have to do it with power. Just had to find first base.
Lane Hoover lefty 0 for 4 today. Polancic home, high 1-0. Brian Fuentes, who's 1 for 3 with a walk, righty is on deck. 4-2, Otters lead, top of the ninth. Polancic at the belt, fires home. Popped up, left side, out of play.
Overhead foul ball brought to you
Game
by
49 of 50 here at Bosse Field, and by far the deepest we've played into the night. 1-1 from Polancic. Swing and a miss. 93-mile-per-hour fastball. Polancic working out of the stretch, glove on his hip. Peeps over at first. Zeisler just a 2-stride lead there. The 1-2. Chopped right side. Skinner racing over to glove it. Spins around. Tosses to second. Under the glove of Khalil. Rolling into left field. Past Reyes and rolling into foul territory. Zeisler's going to come all the way around and score without a throw. Down to second goes Hoover. Oh my goodness. The Y'alls cut the lead in half. The tying run is at second. Ethan Skinner could have just gotten the out at first, and the Otters would have been an out away. Zeisler would have just been at second. He tried the double play, and chaos ensued. Zeisler goes from first to home. Hoover at second. Brian Fuentes to the plate. It has been an adventure for second baseman today.
Yes, I was about to say, it took the words right out of my mouth.
Pitch home to Fuentes. On the inside corner is strike 0-1. Fuentes 1 for 3 with a walk in the eighth.
That's the difference between levels, though. You know, in the Frontier League, you're still able to make those decisions, maybe even if it's not the right one. It's a learning process.
0-1. Outside 1-1. Hoover has good speed at second. Ball to the outfield. Certainly should have a chance to score him. Myers probably has the best arm of the three Otters outfielders in center. 4-3 Otters lead in the ninth. 1-1 count with one out. Pitch home. Fastball on the outside corner, 1-2. The run across unearned, an error by Skinner. Hoover reaching on a fielder's choice according to the book.
If there's any guy you want at the plate here, too, it's Brian Fuentes. Now, he doesn't have the highest average on the team, but he does have the most hits on the team, 89, looking for number 90.
1-2 count. Polancic at the belt, kicks and fires, swing and a miss. 93-mile-per-hour fastball from Polancic. Fuentes couldn't keep up. 2 outs. And how about coming down to the big 6'9" designated hitter, Brennan Price. He's 1 for 3 today, a walk in the sixth. The game-tying run at second base with 2 outs in the ninth. The 4-3 Otters lead. Polancic peeks back at second and delivers. Popped up by Price. Into left field. Mattis drifting over, circling under the baseball, makes the catch, and the Otters survive. Bosse Field after dark delivering with chaos. The game decided by misplays by second baseman. What can you say? The Otters score 4 unearned runs and win 4-3 to lower their magic numbers just 2 to make the Frontier League playoffs. That, Michael, was an entertaining game of baseball. I think certainly worth our 2-hour wait. I hope it was for everyone at home, and I think it was for the 1,000 fans or so that stuck around in the stands.
Yeah, entertaining to say the least. You had twists and turns at every which way, ever here, ever there, a base hit there. Plenty of strikeouts and great pitching early on. And like you said earlier in the game, before both starting pitchers exited, the runs were probably going to come after the starters were relieved. And, well, they did. They did come after they were relieved. But most of those runs came by way of the error. 5 of the 7 runs scored came across. Sorry, I think it's 6 of the 7 runs.
Well, we had 7 runs scored tonight. All 4 for the Otters were unearned. Yeah,
it's 5. All 4 for the Otters unearned. The 1 run that came across in the 9th for Florence unearned, and the 2 in the 8th were earned. But that's pretty impressive. You know, you talk about how unique baseball is. This is as unique of a game as it might get.
It was a wild game tonight. It was delayed by 2 hours and 8 minutes due to sloppy field conditions from rain last night. Started at 8:43. It ends just 2 minutes shy of 3 hours at 2 hours and 58 minutes in front of a crowd of 2,247. The final totals this evening: Evansville, 4 runs on 5 hits, 1 error. Florence, 3 runs on 8 hits and 3 errors. And boy, was that the difference. The Otters scored 2 in the 6th, as they didn't have a hit in the inning. It was 2 walks, a hit by pitch with Carter Spivey in. Brian Rosario hit a ball to the right side. Christian Garcia couldn't handle it. It scored 2 runs. That ended Spivey's day, though he didn't allow an earned run in 5 2/3. Florence, though, would respond. They would score 2 in the 8th on a walk, 2 base hits. 2 runs would come across. That was when Leone de la Cruz started the ball game. Kevin Davis finished the 8th. And then the Otters scoring the 2 go-ahead runs in the 8th on an error by Garcia. Florence had a chance to turn an inning-ending double play. Garcia threw it at the feet of Harrison DeNicola, skipped back to the backstop, scored a run, and then George Khalil would have an RBI base hit to score 1 more run for the Otters, though it also went unearned. And they needed that 2nd run because Florence, on an error by Ethan Skinder at 2nd, then threw a ball into left field, would score Hank Zeisler. But Jake Polancic able to earn his 17th save of the season, which now leads the league, as he struck out Brian Fuentes and got Brennan Price to fly out for the 4-3 victory.
It's one that you put in the memory books, but it's certainly not one that you circle at the end of the year and say, yeah, let's do that again.
It wasn't the most attractive form of baseball, but was it can ever be for a game that started after 8:30.
Yeah, and a win is a win. At the end of the day, you move 1 step closer to clinching that playoff spot. Magic number now moves down.
So the Otters' magic number is at 2. They need a Washington loss tomorrow and a win here. Washington plays Lake Erie in half hour after we start here in Evansville, 12:35. They'll start at 1 Central, 2 Eastern in Lake Erie. So this game could finish, and the Otters could be watching even the scoreboard to decide if that champagne here at Bosse Field is popped tomorrow afternoon or if it will have to wait till next week. 4-3 win tonight for the Otters over the Y'alls. They remain 5 back of first, 6.5 up of Washington for the last playoff spot in the West. Michael, I don't think you could have imagined your first pro baseball broadcast would be as crazy as tonight, but I'll tell you that there aren't too many more games I've had more fun in this year. It was an absolute blast, and I'm excited to do it again in just a little under 13 hours.
Yeah, maybe if we can get the same type of drama, but starting on time, that would be just as fun.
That would be the goal for sure. It has been a blast tonight. Thanks to our entire crew for staying up late with us. Our excellent director, Ian Klingler, our camera ops, John Smith, and Michael Russ. My partner, Michael Gross. I've been Griffin Epstein on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. The Otters win a wild one after a 2-hour delay, of 4-3 victory over Florence, and their magic number down to 2 to make the Frontier League West playoffs. First pitch tomorrow, slated for 12:35. Yes, that's just in 13 hours. So get some rest, and myself and Michael will talk to you then. For now, good night from Bosse Field.